Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning! Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. The beauty of the having the Memorial Day Monday and the short week is that this week is great, man. It just flies. Every day should be a 4-day week. I mean, in all fairness, all right? I'm a big believer, proponent for everybody's enjoyment of life for the 4-day week. It just rolls better, man. People are energized. They're more energized for work on the 4-day week. Anyway, I digress. Let's start it off. This is the Anthony Gargano Show, presented by Parks Casino. This is how we win. Parks Casino. Listen, yesterday the Eagles begin OTAs. And yesterday was the beginning of the defense of the title. And I want to get to what we talked about with Zack Berman yesterday, because I love Zack, and he's going to join us coming up later in the show today to go over the OTAs. Yesterday we saw new OC Kevin Petullo talk, and we got Dallas Goedert, which I think is one of the biggest re-signings of the offseason. To come in and have your tight end intact. And I love Goedert. Man, I think Goedert's really good. I think he's underutilized at times in this offense when you have a running game that demands that kind of attention and volume. Guys are going to take a back seat, especially when you're next to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. So let's talk about what Zack said yesterday. We were talking about when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl against Kansas City and lost in 2022, the following year, things went awry, as we know. They were 10-1, and then they had that slide, whatever. We get it. But the point is that what happens post-Super Bowl year? What's the thing? Like, what happens? Now, in 2019, after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, you had the quarterback conundrum, right? You had Foles early. Wentz was chopping at the bit to get back. Remember, he was in a bad place because they won it without him. And so he was doing whatever he could to get back. And then he's just not the same. He actually breaks a bone in his back. He's awful, right? Foles almost saves the season again and gets into the doinks against the Bears. And ultimately, it's not a repeat. It's not a, hey, we came close. And then we saw it in 23, right? So this year, what's going to be different? And I think it's different just because in those situations things went awry. I just think they're too good on the trenches. Like, I get oh my God, Christian McCaffrey after the big volume year, what's going to happen with Saquon? Yeah, do I think Saquon's going to have a year like he did this year? No, I don't. But their O-line remains really, really good. I know you got one guard spot that's in question. I don't believe that's going to derail that group, which is excellent and dominating. And defensively, even though you lost a lot of players, their key players up front in that line are growing, ascending players. And I think they're going to be as dominant. I think Jalen Carter completely wrecked Kansas City. I talked to those guys afterwards, and I mean, recently, we just kind of BSing, and it went down to Carter. They couldn't block Carter. That was the issue. You know, everybody else helped, but it was about Jalen Carter. And I do believe that this defensive front will be equally dangerous as it was last year. You got Vic back. This defense loves him. So I'm not as concerned about, oh my God, we got to change things up. Oh my God. Bill Barnwell wrote this piece on ESPN today about, you know, looking at the NFC and how it's all going to change. And he brought up the Eagles. And it was interesting because he quoted Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow pointed the Eagles out when it comes to team building. Just do what the Eagles do. That's what Burrow said. Just do whatever the Eagles do. That's the right way. And going into it, I think the same thing. I don't think you got to now change the offense. Zach was like, oh, well, they got to change the offense. And, they got to make it more of a throwing offense. No. We saw what happens when you want to become a throw-first offense. We saw it. If teams want to play you the way Kansas City played you, all right, well, that's different. That's Jalen making throws down the field, dropping in a bucket along the sidelines to AJ and Devontae. That's different. But to somehow come out and spread them out and go sling it, that's a mistake. That's not who they are. No, I mean, Charlie Manuel used to say it all the time. Anthony, know thyself. Know thyself. He would tell his players all the time, know who you are. Right? All of a sudden, if you're not, you're a speed guy and you don't have a lot of power and you hit one home run, now all of a sudden you want to jack the ball, you want to try to yank it. Well, guess what? Not going to work. Know thyself. They are a downhill run team. Everything comes off the run. So that's who you got to be. You don't need to change dramatically. You're always going to tweak, and you have a new OC with Pachulo that he introduced yesterday. So there's always going to be stuff like that. But no, who you are is who you are. That's what makes you effective. You can't suddenly change it. And look, everything's going to revolve around the quarterback. AJ said it to the LaShawn McCoy during his Fox show. LaShawn dimed out AJ as his source and said, yeah, it's always Jalen's offense, meaning, yeah, they got to build the offense around the Kurtz. And that's how it has to be. He's your quarterback. You build your offense around your quarterback's strengths. Jalen's strength, look how well he played last year. It's not a slight saying he can't, you don't want him to throw 40 times. That's not a slight because he does other things really well within that offense. Let them cook. Let's not, and we talked about it yesterday, the Pat Riley disease of me. Let's not go down that road. Good morning, VG.
What up, brother? How are you?
Oh, dude, I love that hoodie.
Oh, thanks, man.
Dude, that's strong.
Thanks.
Look good. You look at the sports guy today.
I'm ready for 2 games, man. We got double today.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
What time's where are the games?
1 o'clock, 6:45.
1 and 6:45.
Yeah.
Today. Yeah.
Helps. I have a hard time getting motivated to go to the gym. I get bored. Now it's like, I can spend an hour on the treadmill or the elliptical, have the game on, and time flies by. So I only work out during day games, apparently.
Well, you're right. It's the best thing for you. I'm not a big music guy, right?
Yeah. At
like
the
gym?
Nah,
I'm not headphones. I'm really not. I need something to so I could sit there all day long and lift while I'm watching it.
100%. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm excited for the fights. I missed them last night.
We can do a kill shot today,
Yeah,
Take
exactly.
2.
Well, listen, if you can win the first game,
right,
you got Wheeler pitching the nightcap.
Mm-hmm.
You're going down?
I'm going tonight, yes.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Hopefully.
All right, we'll get a lot of time. We're going to talk Phillies. We got the Bot with us. Good morning, Bot.
What's up, Tyler?
Good morning, guys. How's everything going?
I know you're off. Did you miss him last night?
I did. It was weird. It was like initially it was kind of a good reset, and then it got to be like 8:30, and I'm like, I'm a little bored. What do I do? I can talk to my family?
Dude, it's so funny, isn't it? Like our routines. Like my routine every night is do this. I'm downstairs sports. I'm at the field. We have practice. Now it was raining the last couple of days, and then I come home and I watch games. All right, and then I go to bed.
Sure.
And so I'm texting my wife from downstairs, and that's kind of how we do it. And then on the weekends, we watch our shows together, right? Like that's kind of how our lives go.
I think it's a lot of people like that,
right? Like she's up watching her stuff. I watch sports. Weekends we watch our shows, and that's kind of how it goes. So hello to Joey.
Joey,
I'm here to make it look good.
Yeah, we have this set. He is. He's
handsome us up.
He handsome, right? And we have our terrific Philadelphia soccer people coming in today for the World Cup, and so we have our set is set up. We're gonna make Joey's filling out the scene.
Yeah, he's
now,
a seat
do we
filler.
do we have
the
the
awards,
dude?
Do we have to pay Joey more now that he has a speaking role?
No, that's part of it. It's like a stand-in.
Yeah, like the Academy Award.
Right.
Pay for the day.
When you're doing a scene, you need somebody to take the space. Right? So that's part of making his bones. That's my man. But when you look at this whole thing, right, and you look at what I talked about this morning, do you need to change? I don't understand.
I wouldn't mess with it.
Inherent need to change the offense.
I think Patullo told you yesterday he's going to run the Eagles offense. That's all we want. Just until I get Zach yesterday was worried about the miles on Barkley, but until something happens, which it won't, we're going to be cool. You run with what you got.
You got AJ Dillon. I mean, you got the kid.
Yeah, you're going to have Nick Chubb soon. You do what you do.
Listen, I don't hate that. But the point is that you with this O-line and where you're built, you don't change dramatically for the sake of saying I want to throw the football.
Not after legit one of the greatest seasons in the last 25 years.
Yes.
They're dominant.
And they won because of the fronts.
Right. And nobody could stop it. So why would you mess with that until someone stops it?
But no, we debated Zach yesterday on this. And Zach's a throw guy.
Zach's a passing guy. He's got a little Sean McVay vibe to him. He dresses well. He's polished. Zach.
He is.
He comes from the McVay, the pass camp.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, I love throwing the ball. I love quarterbacks. I love throwing the ball. But I don't think that it's the right thing to do with this team.
You like throwing the ball. You love running the ball.
I like both. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I'm not.
I lean running the ball.
I know you put it this way.
Love the ground game.
I'm in the middle of you two.
Okay.
All right. If I had a different team, I might switch it up.
Yeah, I'd run Navy offense.
Right. I like to throw the football.
Yeah.
I do. I like to throw it. Yeah. I'm not Zach that I want to throw it 50 times.
Just to throw it.
Right.
Because you got to change it up.
And by the way, when I have this offense, this line, that back, run. Dude. And that quarterback, Jalen is so effective in the run game. Why is that not in the equation that he is so good in the run game?
I don't understand. When he's the option in that run game, they're unstoppable. If they come out throwing the ball 50 times and end up 1-1, this city will go nuts.
It's just foolish.
Yeah.
But what's the bot thing?
You brought up a potential regression for Saquon Barkley. If he has a 25% regression in yardage, he still was going to run for 1,500 yards.
Great point.
It's still a regression's probable because it was just one of the craziest seasons ever.
Right.
If it's 1,500 yards, it's still an excellent season. I think you still can establish the run with this team, and you should still establish the run with this team.
I don't know what changes dramatically on the offense, right? The only subtraction you have is Becton.
Right.
All right. Now again, I like Becton. You know that.
Good season.
He had a really good year.
Not losing sleep over that though.
Exactly. This is where Steen should be able to come in. They got Green, the veteran, and you got Stoutland.
That's the key.
Right? This is where I don't see that line. You still have great tackles. You still have a great center, and you're still good on the other guard. So you should be fine. They should
be more than fine.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And the one thing about, you brought up Saquon in this season, I mean, he's getting through the first level, not being touched a lot. It wasn't like it was more highway miles than city miles.
It's a good analogy to use, and I think Becton was a big part of that. He was excellent in the run game.
Yep.
I think they're gonna miss him, but I think that with the other 4 guys established the way that they are, plus the fact that you still do have basically the best running back, if not the top 3 best running back in the league. Even if a regression happens, you're still going to have an excellent season.
Right. It's not a death knell.
Right.
That's the point. It's not a death knell to the offense. They go, all of a sudden, I got to start slinging it.
No, dude, not after. I mean, how many games in a row? They end up with the end of the season, what, 15 games in a row? I don't know, dude. So they were insane. They were dominant. Why would you mess with that?
The thing I saw last, the thing from last year, that was nuts. The thing that was nuts last year was the big plays. Like what was nuts is the big run plays.
Like every other game, there's a 70-yard run.
There's home runs.
Yeah.
Barkley's hitting more home runs than Schwarber. It was a Barkley bomb. Yeah. It was nuts. It was crazy.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I think that
you're disappointed if it didn't happen.
All the football that we have watched, a million games. My God, that was so unique. Like, I remember growing up going, man, Walter Payton. Like, would break these long runs.
Yes.
Barry Sanders would break these long runs. Eric Dickerson and then like Emmitt Smith would be in the clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
All through Sean Alexander with Seattle.
Sean
I'm just
Alexander,
throwing names out, right? Like you had these backs. All of a sudden, there's Barkley, but he would do it once or twice a game.
A game.
Not a season.
And it was like a direct just
like,
shot.
Dude.
Barry run all over. But Saquon was just through the hole and bam, gone.
It was unbelievable. And like you're right, in a second, it was like a line drive home run.
Yeah, dude. Boom.
Like
gone.
all of a sudden he's in space. And that's my point. Like, if you're loading up the box, the best way to beat that, sometimes to throw the ball, but other time is if you get the right call, you're going. There's no safety.
You're gone.
Right? Like we saw that. There's no safety.
Right.
Why are we in a hurry to get away from that?
I don't know. I don't think they are.
That's what Zach was saying yesterday.
I think Zach is.
Driving me nuts.
Oh, man.
I love that season. At some point,
this greatest
summer,
football season of my
we
life.
will relive this season.
Yeah.
The entire, from start to finish, even the first 4 games. I want to relive every moment of that season. That was a great season.
Well, you got to relive the first 4 moments to get to the haircut, to get the Coop's impact. So you got to relive the first 4 games. That's a great season. The best season of my life.
Was freaking awesome. It was easily the best season of any squad. Yeah. I love 08 Phils. I loved 11. I loved 2 years, even though I lost to the Astros. It was great season. Like, I loved it, right? 18 was fun. Wentz, right?
Yeah.
Getting
First
hurt.
one.
Whole story. Nothing compares to last year. Nothing.
Dude, no.
Nothing compares.
Not when you annihilate the
everybody.
reigning dynasty team.
And it was every week was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a great freaking season. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean,
why do I want to change that?
It would be
Let's
malpractice.
go.
It's malpractice if they change that.
Oh man, it's
Just
time.
run.
Time to repeat.
Run,
like Moses said in 1983.
Run.
That was a season. All right. That's probably my second favorite season.
83?
Yes.
Yeah, over 80. Phils?
Yeah, well, the season, it's like from start to finish.
Yeah.
Remember, the 80 Phils, we were kids, but they had like, it was up and down, and that was awesome. We were children.
Yeah.
83, the Sixers were the best team in the league by far.
Mm-hmm.
They just buried teams. And that's like this Eagles team. They just bury teams.
Yes. The motto should be a run-peat, not a repeat. It was
a
run-peat.
I love it, VG.
It was just a run-peat.
Joe, you like that?
I love that.
Run-peat.
Yeah, dude, that's it.
I honestly, I don't think, like, the Eagles season last year, I don't think we're ever going to relive something like that again. That was way too insane.
But you can
You could try.
Right. And you could come close to it. You could come close to replicating it.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, they lost some guys on defense, and, Bach correctly brings up Becton. But, again, because it's the sum of all parts, and 4/5 of that line is great, and you have Stoutland, I don't think it's going to be a big impact.
Yeah.
Then you lose a couple people on defense. Okay, I get it. But there's still the young players on defense are ascending. Like that doesn't account for Cooper getting better and Quinyon getting better.
Yeah, right. They're
Right?
rookies.
Right? Jalen getting better. I
Right.
love Carter. That dude is just
I saw a
incredible.
ranking yesterday of the top defensive players in the NFL. Jalen Carter was number 2 behind Patrick Surtain.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah.
Where'd you see that at?
I
Why
don't
didn't
know.
you send it to me? You gotta say, you know I love that stuff.
I don't know. I'm telling
That's
you
a
now.
violation. He didn't send it to me.
Yeah, so number 2 in all of football right now. Not bad.
Don't he look good today? He's got the.
Like
He's got the. I like the hoodie,
Just from
and I love the hat. The
he
Phillies
always
hat.
looks
my
good every
old
day.
Phil.
No, but he's got. Some days he looks like more like you look like twins. Like he looks like your uncle.
Oh, come on. Check
you
these
say I
out,
look
dude. You
bad?
see these, man? You see my new drawing?
No, the
No,
Vans,
no.
the Vans
You guys
look
have new
good.
Vans?
He wants to be Bike Chain Senior. You're Bike Chain Junior.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
I think he looks good. He always has the good fits on. He always has the Vans on. I'm
man.
like,
Yeah, you like the Vans, yeah.
yeah, what?
Does your father have the Vans?
No, I got him some Asics. He's
An
chill.
Asics guy, man.
Yeah,
You
he's
know?
chilling. Got him some Asics golf shoes.
But he's a Fila guy.
I gave him some like.
He wears Fila sneakers like I do.
Yeah,
Because we're still stuck in the 80s.
I gave him like a pair of like
90s.
Asics like running shoes, like whatever. And the next day he went out and like bought like Hugo Boss shoes, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's never gonna wear these shoes.
Nah, he's pretty.
Yeah, man. People
He
should know
was-
JoJo is a Asics endorsed skater, man. Or border. Skater, border, what is it?
No, skater. You can't say border.
Skater, border.
Border's corny. Skater's cool. That's how we learned that.
Peeling Onions wants us to talk some board with Joey.
Joey, we'll do that. All right.
Sure.
In overtime, we'll have Joey talk some skating.
Bot's got the list. There it is.
Thank you, Bot. Look at that.
Ahead of TJ Watt. Ahead of
Carter!
Ahead of Miles
Carter,
Garrett.
are you kidding me? I want to attack you right now.
Please don't.
I can't wait for football,
You
man.
got Zack Baun 9th. I just saw Zack Baun's 9th best defensive player in football.
Let's go. Come on, man. How's this going to be a regression? I have a season that's not going to be. I got to switch it up.
I don't see that happening at all.
Repeat. Oh, that's going to be our rallying cry. All right, lots to get to. I'm very excited because coming up, we got Melissa Piccoli from, this Philadelphia World Cup soccer organization is just terrific. Every week, we get to visit with someone to get us excited for the World Cup 26. And today, Melissa will join us. She's the Chief External Affairs Officer for Philadelphia Soccer, right? So she'll oversee government affairs, the legacy programming. What happens when the World Cup leaves, when it's over? After all the party stops, there's going to be a lasting legacy from it, all right? And this is where Melissa comes in. Very excited to talk to her this morning. From the editor's desk, Pat McLoone will join us. And then Zachariah for an Eagles update on OTAs. Lots to get to, as always, on the program. Let's start with Parx Casino. Yes, Parx Casino, our casino of choice, and the BetParx app. All right, so today we told you, we're the Phillies today
I'm looking it up now.
for 1 o'clock. Because
Just
we
so
got
you know, if you listened to me yesterday, you made some money on the BetParx app. 3-0. Just
3-0. Way to go,
3-0,
man.
buddy.
Yeah, that's good.
the Pittsburgh bullpen was locked down, and that brain was trashing.
Well, they
looked
also
good.
put up big numbers
Yeah,
offensively.
Skeeter's out of his mind.
Yeah, he is. So
Let's see,
Phillies today, doubleheader. And we'll find out the odds.
Here they come. Early game, Phillies minus 152 on the early game.
Who they got thrown? What's the
That's
matchup?
AJ Smith-Shawver.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Phillies are minus 121 on the night game with Wheeler Sale.
All right, 2 favorites right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so check that out. You've got the Phillies. And then last night, I told you Florida looked dicey. They were down 2-0. I also told you OKC. That was a rout from the beginning. Both teams move on into their respective finals. Tonight, Edmonton and the Pacers will win, and we'll have our...
You like the Edmonton? They're plus 108 tonight.
Are they
Stars
really?
are heavy favorites tonight. Yeah, Stars are minus 132.
I like Edmonton tonight. I like the oil. I think they close it out.
Close it out.
I don't think they can stop Edmonton's offense. I just
Well,
don't.
the Stars we were lifeless at the end of that game 4.
Well, they got dominated.
Yeah.
So, I don't, listen, there's always that bounce back. We saw the bounce back with Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And Carolina started out the game great. I mean, they were up 2-0. And then all of a sudden, bang, bang, bang. And they're down 3-2. Anyway, you got all that stuff. And I like Indiana. I think Indiana wins
They
tonight.
close it out?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
I like Indiana tonight. So check out the BetParx back for all the sports, but also the casino. In fact, they have live dealer blackjack and roulette and craps right there on your phone, along with all the hottest slots. What's your favorite slot?
I was playing absolutely mammoth last night. I like a little woolly mammoth. I'm a fan of the woolly mammoth.
You like
good
animals.
creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that.
Yeah,
I like it. Anyway, check it out. The Parx Casinos BetParx app. New customers get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. BetParx.com has all the details. You got to be in 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, now let's talk about Cherry Hill Kia. That's right. Cherry Hill Kia, part of the Folk Auto Group. You got to get to know the Folk Auto Group. Charlie Folk, my dear friend, what a wonderful, he's got the best dealerships in the area, and I'm talking about Cherry Hill Kia. That's Bill runs Cherry Hill Kia, one of the best guys. All right, go see him. Amazing deals, super low lease payments. All right, they're celebrating good savings all month long. It's not just about Memorial Day. No. Not just about these holidays. They have savings all year long. All right, so check out. They have over 450 new Kias to choose from, over 40 Tellurides, 100 Sportages, 35 Carnivals, 75 Celtos, 80 Souls. That's the VG vehicle. I got to tell you, Kia is the hottest automotive brand in the country for a reason. 7 of their models received 2025 Car and Driver Editor's Choice Awards. That's amazing considering there's more than 450 models, all right? And over 20 received this award. I'd say only 20. And Kia's got 7 of them. Combine that with the best warranty in the automotive business, 10 years, 100,000-mile powertrain, 5 years, 60,000-mile bumper-to-bumper. Stop in today and tell him I sent you or PHLY sent you, and he's going to hook you up. I mean, big time. He's going to get you a great deal, all right? Over $1,000 more on your trade-in. So go see Bill, all right? Do that. You also get a $100 restaurant.com gift card just for taking a test drive. He'll feed you. That's what they are. They want to feed you, all right? I know people buy Kias elsewhere. I just don't know why. So check out KiaofCherryHill.com 24/7 all the time. Drive home in your new Kia today. Now, joining us, I love this organization. I am so excited. All right. I can't wait for the World Cup. Melissa Piccoli. Hello, Melissa.
How are you?
What do you say?
You pronounced my last name right. That was awesome.
Piccoli.
Piccoli, I get a lot, but Piccoli is the right way. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, if you're messing that up, we got issues.
Yeah,
you let me know.
I will.
All right,
I
Melissa?
will. I will.
That's so good.
I appreciate it.
Where are you from? Because I used to drink a lot of beers back in the day at Piccoli Playground.
Yeah, I'm from North Jersey.
All right,
I'm a transplant, but I call Philadelphia home,
right.
much to the chagrin of my Giant fan family.
Good.
I'm an Eagles
good for
fan,
you.
so
Nice.
yeah. So it's good. It's good. I've made the move.
I love it. So you're in charge of legacy programs.
Yep.
You're in charge of the government piece of this thing,
Yep.
which you worked in the White House.
I did. Yes, I did.
Which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, what's that like?
I mean, it was an experience that I will obviously never forget. You build lifelong friendships from folks who you would have never met before, who I perhaps will never work with again. But you go through the ups and downs, right? Like a sports team,
Right.
with these people, and the bond is real. I was able to do a lot of really cool things, travel around the world, travel in the country and see different parts of the country that I never would have otherwise. So it was an awesome experience.
What was your biggest accomplishment?
Oh, that is a fabulous question. I planned an ACONUS, which is an out of the continental United States trip for the president. And so we went to
Wow.
Scotland and Rome, and it was a super, super awesome experience to be able to go there and interact with the governments from those countries. To plan
Really?
the trip. Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
it was
that's
really
so
cool.
incredible.
Yeah.
So you were in Rome. Did you did you go to the Vatican?
I did. I sure did. And I climbed the steps to the top.
Did you really?
With
Wow.
some Secret Service agents, which made me feel much better when I was out of breath because they were too. So it made me question my ability a little bit less. But it was a great experience.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yep.
That is so cool. So what brought you to Philadelphia Soccer World Cup?
Sure.
This is so cool. I love this whole thing, this initiative. We're counting down each week. So we have a lot of people from your staff and from your group on each week to get us ready for the countdown.
Yeah. So I went to St. Joe's undergrad, Temple grad school, and
She's got a Philly accent.
it's
Well,
probably
do you hear
because
that?
I've been here too long.
Yeah, she's been here. She's like
I've been here
osmosis or
too
something.
long.
'Cause-
My family hates it, but
You do. You have a Philadelphia accent. It's so interesting because I worked in New York
yep.
for, I don't know, 6-7 years. I was at the Post, and whatever. I'm Philadelphia. I can't miss this accent, right? And I hear that accent all the time. You don't have any trace of it.
No, but my grandmother sure does. She, all my grandparents were born in the Bronx, and it carried through to some of my aunts and uncles.
Arthur
as well.
Avenue.
Yep. Parkchester.
Yeah.
So
I lived in Morris Park.
okay, there you go.
When I was up there.
There you go. But so I went to St. Joe's and Temple, and I loved it here, and I wanted to come back. I went to DC for 2.5 years, and I was trying to find a way to get back here, and I wanted to come back in a way that was meaningful, exciting, and made sense for me in my career. And so Michelle Singer, who is our vice chair, and she works over at Comcast, I've known for a while, and she sort of helped me navigate how to get back. And she's like, I have this thing. I don't know if you'll be into it, but I was like, in. Because how cool is that, right? To do an event, a major event, a sporting event in the biggest sports city in the world, arguably.
That's international.
That's international, right?
Right.
And it's never been done before. So you have to learn as you're going. There's going to be successes and failures, but you learn and you get better. And we'll put on an awesome show next summer.
This is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
It's going to be one for the ages. Let's start with legacy, right? Because, and this is your area of expertise.
Yep.
When you have these big events, and I remember, I travel all extensively to cover events, and I remember going to Olympic Stadium in Montreal, and the Olympics were in 1976 in Montreal. Yet the legacy lasted 50 years, right? These sorts of events last. In fact, the last World Cup in the States really birthed our whole soccer world, the professional soccer league that's here, the union, and really the whole league comes from that moment.
Right. So we at Philadelphia Soccer, it's really easy to get in the nitty gritty planning details because you have to, right, to put on the event successfully. But it was super important to all of us that it was felt beyond just Center City and after we are out of business, right? That Philadelphia Soccer 2026 will close its book someday. And we wanted to make sure that kids in particular could feel a lasting impact of it being in their community. So we have partnered with the U.S. Soccer Foundation, which is also a legacy of the 94 World Cup games here, to implement our soccer legacy initiatives. So we, in April, announced that we're committing $2 million to the growth of the game throughout the Commonwealth, and we're super excited about that partnership.
So how's that going to look like? Like, how does it manifest?
Yeah, sure. So we, I know when Meg was here, she talked about, everyone assumes you need fields. And we were really, really cognizant of the fact that fields are built, facilities are built all over the country. And if they don't have programming on them, then they go unused. And what a waste, right? What a waste of resources. What a waste of
And then they
getting
just
folks
atrophy,
excited.
right?
Exactly right. So we wanted it to be sort of a combo. So we have 3 pillars of our legacy initiative with the U.S. Soccer Foundation. The first, it is mini pitches. So we've committed to doing 10 mini pitches across the state. We are working with both state associations, so Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer and Pennsylvania West Soccer Association, to identify where best to put those mini pitches. We've had conversations with people from Erie to Altoona to Pittsburgh, Reading, Allentown, of course, in Philadelphia. And so we're excited about what that will look like. The second pillar is programming. The U.S. Soccer Foundation runs awesome programs. One is Coach Mentor Training, where they train both coaches and teachers in skills outside of the sport itself. So in youth development that the kids can carry with them for generations and years to come. And then also Soccer for Success, which is a development-based program for students, for young people, to grow as individuals, what it means to be a team player, what it means to be, a captain or a leader on the field, but also off the field. And then the third is a legacy endowment. So we've partnered again with the state associations to give a tail to the legacy. So after the World Cup ends, as I said, we go out of business. And so we're going to do legacy endowment from 2026 to 2036, where we'll offer them funding to offer scholarships to folks that are within their programs for 10 years after. So we kind of have a tail to all the work we're doing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
There you go, VG. That's this whole notion of legacy lives. I mean, that's a big deal. Like,
huge deal.
We're in it for the party. Like, he's a party guy, right? Like, we're in it for. I love the sports.
Yep.
I love the party aspect. I love Philadelphia being on the grand stage.
Yep.
That's probably my biggest reason for, I'm so excited for it. But this whole thing that you'll be able to kind of, keep giving back and keep giving back to generations is really important.
Yeah, and I worked on one of the political conventions in Philly, and it was wonderful, and it comes, and it's, catered to a specific audience, and not everyone in the city can feel it, and then they leave. And we didn't want that. We were really cognizant of, this not being just felt down at the stadiums and in Center City, but across the city and across the Commonwealth. Governor Shapiro has been a super awesome partner of ours. And so in conversations with them, we've identified the importance of making this Commonwealth-wide. While someone in Pittsburgh might not come to our Fan Fest, we hope that there'll be a legacy for their kids who love the game and help this grow the game out there as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like I guess how do you grow the game? Because I think we all start. I played soccer for like 7 years. It's the first game we all play because it's when you're 4, it's pretty easy to run around and kick.
Yeah.
But it seems like we transition out of it. So is part of this trying to keep kids focused on the soccer?
It is, and I think the cool thing about the sport of soccer, I played till high school.
Did you?
Wasn't good enough to go to college, so I decided to pivot paths. But I played through high school, and it is such a sport that you need the team, right? It's a team sport. And some of my fondest memories growing up are on the soccer field or with my soccer team. But the game's growing. The game's growing. I think part of that is because of the growth of MLS and NWSL around the country. Also our immigrant populations, right? That this is the biggest sport around the world. And when people from other places come here, they bring that with them. And I think there's a lot that divides people these days, right? But sport, in particular, the world sport, brings people together. And so I think there's this natural growth that is occurring. But our goal is to allow more kids to play, to have safe places to play, because that is not the case around in a lot of communities, and have mentors and coaches and folks they look up to who they trust, who keep bringing them back. Because plenty of kids go to one practice and they're like, not for me.
Right.
But if there's someone there who they love and develop a personal relationship with outside of the game, it goes a long way.
Oh, huge. Listen, he coaches basketball. I coach basketball, baseball. I have 2 kids, and so I'm, coaching everything, and it matters. It's funny. I went and picked my son up from school yesterday, and I saw one of my players, like his classmate, and he's like, Coach Anthony, and like I haven't seen him since we won, right? I haven't seen him. And I was like, oh, man. And he comes over and gives me a big hug, like a 6th grader, right? Like, I'm like, oh, man, that's awesome.
That's huge. 6th graders don't hug anybody.
No, believe me, right? I mean, I was like, oh, man, like, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And you're right, because I'm a big believer that sports builds churches, right? Like, it matters. It matters in community, whether it's participating with kids and keeping them occupied and learning all the great life skills through sports, or fandom, right?
Absolutely.
Like the fandom piece of it.
I mean, it's incredible. The international fandom is awesome. You go anywhere else in the world and soccer matches on, everyone's at the bar watching it. I think the other thing that's important too about the coach mentor training program is we can train coaches, but also teachers, right? And teachers are trusted already in so many ways. And I think another thing that's important as coaches is I'm a 7-year-old young girl on a field. I want my coach to look and feel like me and be from where I'm from.
Yes.
Because you meet each other at the right spot to be successful. So we're excited about that. We hope this grows the next generation of fandom, right?
Yeah.
In the city
Yeah.
For the sport. Everyone yells "Go Birds" on Sundays, and we want them to get equally as excited about the Union. There's already such a captivated audience down there in Chester. And we want to continue to grow
And it's
that.
such a great place to watch
my
a match.
gosh.
My God, it's beautiful.
When the sun
The
setting,
water,
the water,
yeah.
I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's an
it's
awesome
very
space.
cool. And listen, like, I think this is going to get people excited about the sport.
Absolutely.
You saw it from an international. You travel extensively, obviously, when you're at the White House. And I don't think we really understand what's in store.
No, we have no idea. And people joke, and Meg says this all the time, like, people are like, oh, it's in the Eagles-Dallas game. And it's like, no, it's not. It is like tenfold an Eagles-Dallas game for so many of these people. Because not only is it their team, but it's country pride. Right? There's that like double layer of, yes, I love Argentina, but I'm also Argentinian, and my grandparents are Argentinian, and this is something we bond over every 4 years. How cool is that?
Right.
So it is a double whammy kind of fandom. And so we're excited once we learn what teams are coming to see what that means for our city. I mean, we are a city of immigrants, and so how can we activate and be in communities that otherwise might not get, the attention, but their home country is coming. And there'll be bars and streets and restaurants
food.
all over the food.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be one of the fun things is the cultural aspect. When you travel, and I know VG is like this, because when I travel, the tourist places are fine and seeing things are fine. But what I really love is connecting with the people.
Yep.
I love sitting at a cafe, a restaurant, a bar, and just talking to the locals and just connecting with people.
Absolutely.
And learning about their culture.
Yeah. And I hope that, like, if we have a community that's, in the far Northeast, Philadelphians too will go see those restaurants and go to those bars and
it'll open up a
places.
thing. We're going to do a big thing that once we learn about, in fact, we talked about this. Once we learn who's coming, we're going to go, I'm going to go to the countries and we're going to do a whole big spread, written spread and video spread on their culture. And then we'll highlight it, bring it back to here in our region and the restaurants and places to gather. Because, the Dutch, he's dying to see the Dutch.
Isn't everyone?
Right? Everyone wants the
marching
Dutch.
Dutch.
Yeah, everyone wants the Dutch.
Yeah.
Right? So what happens? The Dutch are coming to Philadelphia. Let's just say that. So where we go?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? What's their little enclave going to be like?
Sure. Yeah, it's super cool. And I hope, as we said, sports unites people. I hope this brings the city together in a cool way by allowing us to show off the culture. We all know, right, the South Philly culture, the Italian culture, Center City, the Eagles, the sports culture, but there's so much more that exists in the city. And I think this will be a really cool opportunity to shine the light on that.
Oh, yeah. I was out last night, and we were talking about the World Cup because my friend's from Brazil, my neighbor, and he was saying he's like, oh, I can make so much on Airbnb. I was like, wow, you love to travel. I was like, all the culture's coming to you. Why would you leave? And
Absolutely.
We totally changed his mind. He's like, all right, you guys convinced me. I'm not putting my Airbnb.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm staying.
Because that is one of the messages.
Like 12, how many teams are coming?
That's one of the messages that we want to get across is to don't leave.
Yep.
Yeah. All right?
Yep.
Like, don't flee. Like, when the Pope came, everybody fled, right? Like, don't do that.
I fled when the Pope came.
Yeah, like, don't do it.
But I'm not. There's no chance. If you have like 8, 10, 12 cultures coming to me, this is going to be the greatest.
Well, that's the point, right? Like, to experience it. And you also want to show, we're so prideful.
Yep.
Like, you met people. I'm sure that those people from Philadelphia that you work with at the White House were even
your
closer.
People. They're your people, yeah.
Like, there's a connection,
Absolutely.
a bond,
yeah.
right? With these. So what you want to make sure, since we're so prideful, that when all these people descend on our city, that we give them a good time.
Absolutely.
It's like people coming over your house.
Right.
You want to show them a good time.
Right. And I think, what's so cool about FIFA World Cup, the partnership with the U.S. Soccer Foundation, is that it tells a story, right, that like might not otherwise be told, which is the soccer story in Philadelphia, which is so deep. And I think this gives us an opportunity to catapult that and highlight it for years to come, and hope that people from around the world see that and want to come back. And I think, the team, the union, is doing awesome, right? This season, they're having a great season, and there's so many people that have gone from the union or from the Union Academy or teams locally that are present, right, on the national team. And so for us, it should be pride of our country, of course, but pride of our region, as others are coming to us with pride of their country and region as well.
Well, and I love that. And the other thing is, in our town, because sports is so big, you're going to see guys from the Phillies, probably Bryce Harper, right? Like he's going to be all into it, right?
Joe's knee will be great. He'll be out there kicking a ball around.
Right, exactly. Sixers, Flyers. You know my dear friend Emily Maelstrom.
I sure do.
She was excited for you to come on the show.
I sure do.
Emily works for the Flyers, and they're going to be excited. It's a big year coming up for them because they're going to be in the Olympics, right? So we have the whole thing there. Speaking of cultures, we have Michkov and the Russian culture, right? And of course, everything's going to take place at Lincoln Financial Field. So the marriage between our football and the world's football will be on display perfectly.
Exactly. And I think another important thing, obviously 26 World Cup is here, but it kicks off a decade of sports in the U.S. We have the Olympics in LA in 28. Rugby World Cup is a few years after that. There's talk about the Women's World Cup coming in 2031. So I think it's a great time for sports in the country and to shine on the world stage, as you've said.
Yeah. And in our town, too. Like, next year is a big year for us because not just the World Cup is the headliner of USA 250. And I'm sure you did a lot when you were with the White House because, look, we're going to be, that's our coming out party, Philadelphia.
Sure is.
50 years ago for the bicentennial, it didn't reach its, I think, full potential. Right? A lot of stuff was going on in the country. I think it's our duty to make 250 like Philadelphia's coming out party and make it big and make it special.
Absolutely. And I think, there's great folks working on America 250, Philadelphia 250. Welcome America also is a great partner there. MLB Baseball All-Star Week is right after we leave. And so I think there's a lot going on. I think the cool thing about Philadelphia is, for 250, you can show all the good, right? That's in the country. There's so much good that's in the country and so much good that exists in Philadelphia that can highlight that, how far we've come as a country. And with that and the culmination of our 4th of July match and the All-Star Week starting right after, I think it's just a super cool time.
That's going to be awesome,
Yeah,
man.
it's going to be a super cool time in Philadelphia.
It's going to be the best.
For sure.
I got to tell you, Melissa, it's so cool. And we got the Club World Cup.
Oh, we sure do.
All right.
Yep.
So
this summer.
How are you guys planning with that?
So we don't have any operational responsibilities over that, but we're working super closely with the city and with FIFA and with the Eagles to make sure it's a success because it's the city's preview right for next year. And so we want people to get excited about it, to feel part of it, to be involved in it. And there's awesome matches. We have Real Madrid, Man City, a lot of really great teams. We also have a match on July 4th this year. So we're excited. We're excited to show Philadelphia what the world's game means here a year in advance of the World Cup.
Perfect. So the appetite.
And you guys got a couple events coming up in a couple of weeks, right? The Community Day Soccer Clinic on June 11th, the Youth Soccer Tailgate on June 14th.
Yes, we do. So on June 11th, we're partnering with Big Brothers Big Sisters and doing a clinic at UPenn. Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer will also be participating in that. And then we are working with an organization named Safe Hub, who's based in Kensington and do a ton of great work in that community in the soccer space to get some of their kids to the Union game on the 14th. So we're really excited about that. We like to be able to give players and community those experiences that they might not otherwise
There's
have.
like a real soccer legacy at Kensington back in
the day.
That
goes back.
Yep. Absolutely. And if you haven't been to Safe Hub, Liam Connolly over there is an awesome advocate for the game and growth of the game in that community.
Well, and listen, anybody named Liam is going to be great for the game.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like, you just know that. Yep. That's just what it is.
Yep.
You're a Liam, you're great for the game.
Yep.
That's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Awesome.
I got to tell you, what a pleasure.
That was so nice. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh, my God. You look forward to working with you.
Definitely.
Because we're so excited about this whole thing.
Definitely.
But you're very proud of you. And we love the fact that we have adopted you.
You have.
North Jersey's loss is our game.
Yeah, screw the Giants, the Mets, the Jets. I mean, it is grim up there for some of my family, but they do celebrate our successes. When they're not in the mix, they love when we win. So, because it makes me happy, so it's awesome.
You guys are giving away tickets?
We are giving away tickets.
Yeah,
yes.
we have a whole giveaway. In fact, I want people to make sure they like this segment, all right? Because we're a little teaser coming, ways where you can win tickets. So each of our segments are posted. You can go back and watch all of our segments when we talk about Philadelphia World Cup 2026, and you like them, there's going to be a chance for you guys to win the Club World Cup tickets.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate
it.
What a pleasure.
It's great. I'll see you soon. Thanks
Definitely. Awesome stuff. That's Melissa Piccoli checking in, and we cannot wait for the World Cup 2026. so much fun. They do such great works in the city.
Yeah. And if you just want to stay up to date, their website is PhillyFWC26.com, Instagram FWC26Philly, and Twitter FWC26Philly. So stay up to date on everything they got going on. A lot of cool programs.
Great stuff. All right, coming up shortly, we're going to go to the editor's desk and this week's headlines with the great Pat McLoone. But first, let's talk about Empire
Today. So just like your favorite team needs a home court field advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage. And Empire Today, they can help you get it. Because Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. We've all been to the big box stores. You'll wander aisles endlessly. There's no one to help you. And if you do find some help, the people don't know what they're talking about because they work in different departments every day. So with Empire Today, why are they best for a new floor? Because they live and breathe flooring. That's all they do, and they'll be with you every step of the way. It's a whole different ballgame. Their flooring experts bring the showroom right to you with a virtual design software. You pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space, and you see how it looks with your furniture and your decorations in your house. And with Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing, plus you can schedule installation as soon as the next day if they have your flooring in stock because nobody likes to wait. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. PHLY listeners, you can receive a $350 discount when using the code PHLY. That's right, $350 discount simply by using the code PHLY. So restrictions do apply, but please visit EmpireToday/PHLY for your full details.
Love it. Empire Today. Whoever dreamt that up is genius. Right. Let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road Bend, Salem, Mecca of Entertainment. All right, just announced comedian Hannah Berner headlines Parks Casino on September 19th, plus the classic rock band Kansas.
Carry on your wayward son. There'll be dreams when you are done.
That's right, the Excite Center, Kansas. Parks Casino, Saturday, October 4th. Joey Diaz, comedian, August 23rd. Parks Casino has it all. The action, excitement, headline entertainment just outside Philadelphia, Ben Salem, Bucks County. Thousands of hot slots, state-of-the-art sports book, beautiful poker room, all-weather beer garden, a collection of award-winning restaurants. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Tickets on sale now for these headliners again. May 30th, Ashley McBride.
Never wanted to be that girl. Never wanted to hate myself.
June 6th, Taj Mahal, Kevin Mo.
Woke up this morning, my mind stays raw blues.
July 3rd, Gary Clark Jr.
Oh, here come old flat top. He come rolling up slowly.
July 12th, comedian Mark Norman. September 6th, UB40.
Wise men say only fools rush in.
Australia, Pink Floyd, September 20th.
We don't need no education.
November 15th, Bill Murray and his Blood Brothers. That's right, Bill Murray, a night of blues and old-time rock and roll. Don't forget, dinner and the show at the Liberty Bell Gastro Pub, Beer Garden, Parks Grill Steakhouse, Bamboo Noodle House, Chickies and Pete's, ParksCasino.com to find tickets for all shows. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Got to be 21. Gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, joining us from the editor's desk, Pat McLoone.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. It's time for headlines from the editor's desk with Pat McLoone.
Pat!
Hello, boys. How are you?
Pat!
What's up, Pat?
What's going on, brother?
Doing good. Now, listen, I had a lot of good listening this week, and one of the days I just jumped in right at the juncture where Jamie walked behind you. I get nothing but good things to say about Jamie. He's properly educated. He's tight with you. He's tight with Bob Cooney. But I'm with you guys about the flip-flops there, man. That's a city disaster. That's a city disaster
You're
waiting to happen.
man.
My oldest son went to a concert in the flip-flops, and next thing you know, I'm seeing him at Cooper ER, you know? You're
Exactly.
asking for it.
What if there's a fire? You got to go run out of a building. You're wearing flip-flops. Get out of here.
That's right. That's right. And I'm a fairly coordinated guy, but but I can't even walk in those things. I got forced one time to try to walk Tracy home down in Seattle. The only thing I saw were a buddy's flip-flops, and I put those things between my toes, and I couldn't make it happen. I just couldn't do it.
Nah, I hate them. I hate the like. Listen, it's bad enough. Like I like this. You're down the shore. I just throw the Nike slides on. Like that's it. Easy.
You never know who you run into. Like,
you're in the city.
You got to defend. You got to might defend yourself or something. You can't defend yourself in flip flops.
Exactly.
Come on.
Like, what are you nuts?
Let's stomp on your toe.
Like, listen.
Yeah.
You're coming to the city and you wear flip flops, walking around like it's Sea Isle, Ocean City. Like, come on, dude.
Right. Yep. A
You're a
rare
sensible man,
pop,
Pat. Sensible man.
Now, boys, I would like to expand on that a little bit with the occasional from the editor's desk man commentary. There's man rules. My friend Jeff Sherry has them written down. And we talked about this on March Madness weekend in Seattle. And this kind of got mixed reviews. But I wanted to tell you, there are some words that I think a grown man shouldn't say. And I'm going to throw one out there and see if you guys agree or disagree. I do not believe a grown man in good sports standing or any standing should say this word. Yummy.
I'm so with you.
Yes.
I'm so with you. I believe in this stuff. I'm with you. Yes.
Yes.
No man should say yummy. Oh.
No. Can't have it. Can't have it.
I got news for you. That's why I don't like tush. Tush push.
Yes. And you know what? I'll tell you, I think the quarterback doesn't like it for that reason.
Yeah, I think he's right.
They were sitting there with Fallon the one night, and he says to him, Saquon said, I'm the guy that pushes the tush. And you could just see Jalen's like, nah, man. Nah,
Yeah.
No.
I'm with Jalen.
The
Yeah.
brotherly shove gets it done a lot better.
Yes.
But yeah, I just wanted to
Now,
occasionally.
what else you got? What else you got?
Well, I'd have to come up with my list.
Okay.
But the one and I got a written list if I can get my friend Jeff to part with it. But another one
I'll
is
piggyback off yummy and say tummy. I got a tummy ache.
Yeah, no.
You can't say I got a tummy ache.
Yeah.
No.
I hear you. I'm with you.
No.
Definitely.
No, I'm with you. No tummy, no yummy. I agree.
No.
All
no,
right.
and I'll come up with an occasional thing. I got some thoughts on gestures and texting, but today just a little yummy to get no good.
Dude, I'm with you, man. I don't rock with I don't like the young.
Yeah. All right, guys. This week we have the following: 4 for 4, Phillies future, NBA and MLB.
I say we go. Let's start with MLB.
Yeah, okay. There you go. And our headline on MLB is Power Surge. There's two guys I wanted to talk about that are really interesting me that we don't talk about much. Aaron Judge and Tariq Skubal. The Skubal's really interesting. I mean, what jumped out to me was last weekend, he throws a complete game, which you don't see every now and then. And in the ninth inning, his heater came up at 103.7.
Damn, in the ninth inning?
That was his last pitch of the game.
Inning.
Wow.
His last pitch was 103 something.
I mean, I know it was ridiculous, but I didn't know that was his last pitch. Yeah. My God.
Yeah. And I never got a chance to see, that tells me he threw a few at 105 or 106. And, he's probably the main reason why the Tigers are right there with the Phillies for the best team in baseball. And what really grabs me about him is that he didn't come up and just light it up. He's 28. Every year, his ERA has gone from 5.63 to 4.34 to 3.52, 2.80, Won the Cy Young at 2.39, and now he's at 2.49. And leads the league in strikeouts. And it's just fascinating I'm fascinated by how that guy has slowly developed into maybe not the best pitcher in baseball, but I think he's the hardest throwing, wildest pitcher in baseball. Maybe the guy that if you did a poll,
I don't know who's better than him. I don't know who's better than him.
Yeah. The only guy I would say might be better than him is towing the slab in the night game tonight.
Wheeler, yeah. I mean, honestly, Scooble's is unhittable. I mean, he gets into the playoffs last year by himself. What he did in September was it was just ridiculous. No, I'm with it. At least the best pitcher in the American League.
Yeah. So that really grabbed me. And then the other guy is Judge. I mean, I love talking about Ohtani and all, but Judge, man, this guy's insane. I mean, he's second in the league in homers and RBIs. My man's hitting 395.
You see, he got intentionally walked twice in the first and second innings yesterday.
So wow. I'm so glad you brought him up because I was thinking the same thing. So the other night I was on the baseball scoreboard and on ESPN, right, on the app, and I'm looking around. I like watching box scores. So I go to the Yankees game. They're playing on the West Coast, and Judge is up. And you know when you're looking at the live stream of the game, it'll show you their hot box, and you know where they're cold, hot in your square. So if your average is good and it's a hot box, it's red, right?
Yeah.
You look at most hitters and you'll see like two spots where it's red or maybe, pink, right? The rest is blue. Yeah. His is all red.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Wow. It's all different shades
I love
of red.
looking at that thing. I love looking at that, and that's insane. I've never seen that. Wow.
All shades of red. I'm like, it's unbelievable. Outside corner, outside up, away. Outside low, away. Inside up. All shades of red. I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah, and he's gigantic. I mean, a guy that gigantic shouldn't be hitting 395.
No, he's an amazing hitter. You're right.
He plays a pretty good outfield. They still put him in center occasionally.
Yeah, he'll steal bases.
Yes. Yeah, and he's a guy that, he's
look at that.
He's going to be 33, so he's not, if he was 28 or 29, you'd start thinking about 600 homers or whatever, but he has 333. And he was averaging, about he hit 196 in the last 4 seasons. So that's a little short. That's 49.2, I think. And he hits 49.2 for 4 more years or a little less than that. He's going to go well over 500. So really, there's some interesting guys in baseball. I mean, the guy that's ahead of Judge and homers is the Mariner, the Mariners catcher, and they're talking big things about him. This guy on the Cubs now is doing big things. This Crow Anderson. So
yeah,
it's cool to see.
Cal Rowley's the Mariners catcher.
Cal Rowley, very good.
He had a couple home runs the other night.
That Crow Anderson on the Cubs is a real nice player too.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think baseball is great.
Yesterday, I don't know.
There's so many great stories. The game's great. I love that Ellie De La Cruz. He's a blast to watch.
Yes.
Home runs, stolen bases. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Skeen, Bobby Witt Jr.
Bobby Witt. Yeah, man.
It was funny yesterday because when he got walked in the second inning, he got walked with 2 outs and nobody on yesterday, Judge. But the second time he gets, did you see it, Pat? He tipped his hat to Ron Washington, the manager, and Ron Washington just started laughing.
That's funny.
No, I did. In the second inning and in the first inning. Crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm with you, though. I think I'm glad you brought this up because I'm passionate about it. We're living in a great time of players. And with the Phillies being so good, we as a town, I mean, I know baseball, you watch your local 9, and that's what it is. But, like, you should be watching all the sport's great right now.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot to look at, and that's always great when baseball is solid like that. Absolutely. So do you want hoops or 4 for 4 or one of the Phillies things?
Let's go one of the Phillies. We'll split the Phillies up.
Okay, well, I'm going to go let's do the Phillies future later because it's something we haven't talked about. But the Phillies thing to talk about right out of the gate, there was a good conversation with David Murphy, and I'd just like to keep it going. And the headline there is Kings of the Hill. And this Phillies starting thing's unbelievable. I mean, the thing that really jumped out at me was they have 5 guys in the top 25 in NL ERA. I mean, Luzardo's 2.15, Wheeler 2.42, Ranger and Taiwan tied at 2.97, and Sanchez pulling up the rear at 3.17. So it's pretty amazing. And you know what? You get spoiled as a fan.
You are so right. You're so right. Now, listen, just give me an idea. All right. So in 2011, we started with the 4 aces. All right. My dear friend, our dear friend, Gary Smith, was working at Sports Illustrated at the time. Gary calls me up. We were talking. He goes, I think, and he had a contract. He would write 4 huge pieces a year for Sports Illustrated. He said, I want to do all 4 on the Phillies and on the Aces. Now, Gary when you talk about a story. So he was down in Clearwater, and we were mapping out the ideas for the stories for these 4 aces. And it culminated in October, where we went through, I drove him through from Cliff Lee's house in Rittenhouse Square, from his apartment to the ballpark. And we stopped at the neighborhoods. We did his path, and we talked to all the Phillies fans. I took him to a bar on 18th and Oregon. Was it Fatso Fogarty's at the time? Right? And we walked in the bar. It was like Cliff Lee would plausibly do. And it was all filled with smoke because it was the last bar you could smoke at. As long as there was food or no food, there was a rule you could smoke at it. Like, you could smoke. You walked in this bar. Gary's like, what the hell? There's still people smoking at bars, right? This is 2011. And it was awesome. Great story. And, the characters, everybody's getting ready to watch the Phillies game. And it was really a slice of, like, old Philadelphia. So he writes these 4 pieces, which were just incredible stories. We need to do something for the 5 aces. This rotation is better than 2011.
Well, 4/5 of it is. I mean, and if you straighten out Nola, you've got the 5. I mean, I'm really happy for Taijuan Walker. We've talked about him. But
Nola is Blanton.
Oh, well, Nola's Blanton this year, yeah.
But he's right, but he's better, right? Like, so, but if you
without a doubt.
Like, if you think about this for a second, or you have Doc and Wheeler cancel each other out. I like Luzardo every bit as Cliff Lee. I think I would go Luzardo greater than Cliff Lee.
Okay.
You?
Maybe, yeah.
All
Maybe,
right.
yeah. So far.
All right.
So far.
Then you got Sanchez, Hamels. I mean,
that's Hamels.
It's
close, though.
It's close.
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah.
Then you got Ranger, Oswalt. I'm going Ranger.
Yeah, I'm with you
At
there,
that
too.
point,
I didn't like Oswalt when he was here.
He was done.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the name.
Yeah.
Roy Oswalt.
Yeah.
When he was prime, he was a great pitcher.
For sure.
He was great.
Yeah.
But now,
Yeah.
all right, now you got Nola. I mean, let's put Nola in the rotation because he'll get fixed. Nola, even bad Nola, is better than Blanton. And then you got Painter on the way coming. So you really,
it's amazing.
Like, this would be like the 6 aces. We need to go and do the 6 aces.
Like a pinochle deck.
And you're just driving me to go into an archive and read those Gary stories. That had to be fantastic.
I remember them. They were just amazing, just outrageous. I think that should be our summer project for PHLY. Maybe you and I will work on it together.
There you go. There you go.
All right, I'll write it and you edit it.
Yeah. Hey, I'd be happy to do anything like that. You know that.
That'd be fun. I don't know. I just think
a little
it's
extracurricular activity.
underplayed. This rotation's underplayed.
Yeah, it's all.
It is.
It's only underplayed here, though. MLB, I can say you.
But they're not doing big. So I haven't seen an ESPN.
ESPN.
Like this. Gary Smith Sports Illustrated is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like in 2011, that was a monster. This team, this pitching staff is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You're spot on, Pat.
There you go.
You mentioned
But so I just thought that those guys, and the starters are leading in wins, obviously, innings pitched, quality starts. They're and the staff itself is first in strikeouts and even better, 14th in walks. So that's a lethal combo there. And it's funny that Dave Murphy, I can't believe, because the starting pitching is so good, I can't believe how many times Aaron Harang's names come up. And it came up with you guys and Dave. And I got to tell you, Anthony, I knew he pitched for the Phillies. I don't remember him being on fire at the beginning of the year.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I remember. I'll tell you who I do remember for the first 3 starts or something. Vince Velasquez.
Yes.
Had a Sunday afternoon where everybody went crazy, and we were picking for the Wanamaker Award a few days later, and God bless, rest his soul, Dave Montgomery ran that, and everybody was going on about maybe Velasquez will be our Wanamaker winner, and Dave was, well, take it easy, 3 or 4 starts, and he was right, but I forget Harang completely.
Yeah, I'm with you. I remember Harang when he pitched in Cincinnati was decent. Like he was like a decent starter. But when he came here, he was like done, and I didn't remember him being good at all.
No.
We used to mock him.
I didn't really remember he was I barely remembered he was a Philly.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. NBA Phillies future or 4 for 4?
NBA.
Okay.
Here we go.
Every day.
Here he gets heated now.
Every day he says the NBA triggers me. It triggers me.
Is that right?
I love the playoffs. I got to be honest with you. I enjoy the playoffs.
To edit that, I think the Sixers trigger you, and for good reason. Right?
I think it's a fraud now. Like everything I look at them, I see like a $3 bill. I just go,
by the way, I
I
was happy that we discussed it last week, because Devin and the guys, their discussion on the Sixers thing last year was wondering out loud if they traded for Halliburton, which we talked about last week.
Yes.
So that was cool.
Yes.
And in fact, our headline on this is the other Tyrese.
Wow.
Now, I'd like to go back and forth between both teams on this, but this has been a fascinating series. But this Halliburton thing, I mean, the other night, the first one ever, 32 points, 12 boards, 15 assists, but the key stat, 0 turnovers.
Yeah, it's unheard of.
For a point guard.
That's unbelievable. I like Caitlin Clark every bit as much as everybody, and then tenfold. I love watching her and the way she sees the court. But I'll tell you what, when you expand that box and look at the turnovers, she throws it around a little bit. But Halliburton, it's unbelievable. No turnovers. And then they trotted out the line about the only people who have ever gone 30, 10, and 10 in the playoffs in history were Oscar Robertson twice and Jokic once. And now this guy put up those numbers. And he's fascinating because he's kind of got a wonky jumper, and he's not doesn't scare me from deep, but he gets everybody involved. And a perfect example of what he was real late in the game. they ran an inbounds play, and the Knicks were defending it really well. The play didn't work. There was 2.7 left, and he threw this bounce pass underneath everybody that one hopped, and Obi Toppin got it and rewarded him by hitting the three. But he's really, really interesting to watch.
So I got a question for you, right? I think Indiana wins, and it's going to be Indiana-OKC final.
Right.
So, which I'm actually excited about. I think it's going to be a really good series. I think it's got a chance. I think the Pacers can hang with them because they're deep.
Yeah, I would favor the Thunder, but I do think the Pacers could hang. I also think the Knicks win tonight. I think it goes 6.
Yeah, okay. So, but either way, say Indiana OKC, I think it's going to go 6 games. I don't think it's a sweep. I think it goes 6 games, or maybe even 7. But the point is that you have OKC and Indiana. Who's watching that? Because I know we will, right? Like I look forward to it, enjoy it. The NBA is such an interesting sport because I was talking about this conversation this morning with somebody. It's consumed not by people watching games, but more in social media and watching clips, right? Like,
right.
It's consumed like very rarely. Like you got to be a sports nut or an older like us that will watch games. Like I'm in. Like I'm watching a game. Like I'm enjoying. That's good basketball. But people, I don't know that people want that. It's such an interesting conundrum.
Yes, I see what you're saying. I really do. Yep.
I mean, I'm more interested in that.
A couple other things in that series
matchup than anything.
Here's one. I don't know if it bothers you. Every now and then, they'll cut away for a commercial and they cut to the Knicks bench, and I didn't even know until I saw it early in the series. I see Mo Cheeks.
Yeah.
Just bums me out seeing Mo Cheeks sitting on the Knicks bench.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the guy's making a living. He's a good man, but that's kind of a downer seeing Mo Cheeks sitting on the Knicks bench in the Garden.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. And, we talked about how I would be all in if the Villanova guys were on the Raptors, but since they're on the Knicks, I can't get into it. But a couple of the things that strike me about Villanova and the Jay Wright and these guys is that I thought it was insane to put in Mitchell Robinson for Hart. But apparently Hart himself talked to Thibodeau about it and the selfless nature of that guy, and that he's also the leading non-big man rebounder in the league. That's another Villanova characteristic. And then Brunson, you could make Brunson run the Boston Marathon and he would come in dripping wet, and you can see how he gets gassed in some of these games. And he could walk right off the marathon, right up to the foul line and drill 2 shots. The foul shooting is ridiculous. He's 38 for 41 in the series, 92.7%. And the other guys, even Hart and DiVincenzo's numbers are great. Bridges is not having a great, he's like 4 for 7, but some of those Villanova characteristics with Jay Wright, and I call them Villanova / Jay Wright characteristics because those aren't Villanova inherently, because we're seeing that. But, you can still see those characteristics to this day in those players.
It's great that you point that out. It's the truth. Josh Hart I agree with you. Not only is he a great rebounder, but he shares the ball. Like he'll get you 5-6 assists a game, and he's a great passer. He sees the floor really well. And you know what? It made basketball sense to bring him off the bench. It really did.
Yes.
Because now you elongate the game having him come off the bench. You elongate their rotation.
And in a guy who's a 99% package, and I don't know how Dallas, I knew they didn't know what Brunson was going to become, but they should have had a better feel in letting him go. And a guy that's 99% package, the 1% on Brunson for me is turned into too much of a little bit of a flopper for me. Little floppish.
So this is where you and I hear that all the time. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't bother me. I don't mind.
Okay.
Their answer, it came up in the chat before Pat mentioned it. Their chat is
I
anti
know.
it.
Everybody hates it. Everybody hates the flop. I don't really care. I'll be honest with you, I'm ambivalent toward the flop.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's surprising to me.
I don't really care.
Huh.
I'm ambivalent. I'm ambivalent in anything. Like in the NFL or hold and I don't
You don't mind that?
No, hockey. Like the embellishment, they're calling
I like
embellishment.
they give you a penalty for it in hockey.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't do it.
It's weird.
Well, you call it or you don't call it.
Like a non-meat locker take.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't. I don't like it, but I don't hate it. I'm truly ambivalent toward it. Like it's one of those things like, oh my God, he's a flopper. Like you're saying about Brunson being a flopper. It bothers you that he's a flopper.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah. You're okay with the flop. Yes.
I don't care. Like that kid's got balls, man.
Oh.
That dude all day long.
No one better.
Oh my
No
God.
one better. Yep.
He's
Yep.
on the floor constantly. He's all heart. Like, man,
He wants the ball. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest
Just
with you.
fabulous.
Watching him, Halliburton, SGA, it's pretty special. And Ant-Man.
Yes. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. It's been great. And they're like we talked a few weeks before, it's not the old guard. It's some new young teams.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm with you.
Phillies future or 4 for 4?
Well, I gotta say 4 for last. All right.
I thought so.
Yeah, because
That's
something
gonna be a
is
healthy
not
debate,
in the headlines. What's missing in the headlines, VG?
Birds?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So since we're gonna go 4
Yes.
for 4 at the end, I got to bring up birds. We have talked. We have to keep the streak alive. First of all,
Yes.
we've had
It's 98 days now till the kickoff.
Yeah, 98 days, Pat, for kickoff.
Yes.
Da, 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 da,
Red Brown.
da, da, da.
Yeah. Yep. It's Jalen Carter days until the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Until the Dallas.
Greatest.
Yeah.
I love that kid. That kid's just a monster. He's a monster.
Yep. And hey, you know what, Anthony? Maybe he'll come up in the 4x4.
Ah,
But
man.
let's do Phillies future before, okay?
Sounds good.
And our headline there is deal or no deal. I know it's the end of May, but there are 3 gigantic free agent decisions coming up for the Phillies in this offseason. The contracts that are up are Schwarber, Real Muto, and Ranger. What say you, Anthony?
I go Schwarber, definitely. I go JT on a team deal. I think he'll take a team-friendly deal because I think you need a catcher, and I let Ranger go.
VG?
I'm the same.
He hates JT, though.
I hate JT, but there's nobody out there. There's no one in the system right now. Yeah, I'd love to have him 2 years. You're gonna have to pay him for 3 years. I can't imagine he takes a 2 year.
Yeah, I agree with Anthony. And VG, you're right. I mean, Schwarber,
Schwarber's
yes.
I'm frustrated he's not signed already.
Yeah, and Ranger's sad, but look, that's got to happen.
Which gives you a dilemma. If you're not going to sign Ranger, you might as well trade him at the deadline and get something. Because I think he gets you a nice return.
No, you got to win it.
Would.
You got to win it. You
He
need
would,
him to win
but
it.
he's gonna
I
be a
mean, if
big
he gets
part
you
of
a nice
winning.
bullpen
Yes.
arm,
Well, if I get Mason Miller out of it,
I can get Mason Miller, but
well, that's the point. Like
you get someone in contention who needs a starter.
I need Mason Miller, right? So if that means a 3-way deal, whatever you're going to do, I'll trade anybody but Painter to get Mason Miller. Because if you have Mason Miller back there with Romano, you got your 2 back-end pieces.
Yeah, Mason Miller's not Superman. The Phillies made him look bad over the weekend.
Yeah, I still like that. I still think the kid's the best. I still think he throws gas. He's exactly profiles as a back-end guy.
One thing I totally agree with you that you said to Dave Murphy is whoever they get, it's the type, they need a guy that throws gas.
Yeah.
You need a guy that throws gas. I would not mortgage everything. I hope that everybody knows what Dombrowski wants. I just hope that they don't too wildly overpay. But JT's the interesting one. I'm with VG, and they won't, but I'd go for 2 years. You know, maybe Eduardo Tate comes up, but JT's numbers, you can make an argument he's one of the best Phillies catchers ever, but he's not going to be, his catching still as good as he's unbelievable thrower. I've never seen anybody throw like that. But he's not going to be able to catch as much, and he's just not hitting well enough to be able to make me say you got to do it. His strikeouts are way up this year, and he's hitting into a ton of double plays, and he just doesn't seem, although he's on pace home run and RBI wise,
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I can't see a huge deal for him.
Okay, but here's the thing. Look around baseball. Give me the catchers that you go, oh, my God, that's a great offensive catcher. There's a handful of them. You mentioned Cal Rowley in Seattle.
Yeah.
Salvador Perez in Kansas City, who's getting older, right? You got Will Smith with the Dodgers. There's not a ton of guys. And if you put him down hitting eighth and you flop him with Bohm, he's effective down there.
Well, the
I
issue
think
is the lack of right-handed bats we have, so it makes JT's problems that more exacerbated. Like if we had,
that's why you need Bohm.
If
Bohm needs
he's
to
batting
hit
eighth and he's batting what he's doing now, he's fine because defensively he's a great catcher. The record when he plays,
he's got a great arm. He calls a game.
Yeah.
Like you can't be like that's your centerman on the penalty kill. Like you need that guy.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Are you ready to do 4 for 4?
Let's go, baby.
Okay. This comes off, the headline on that is Can't Live Without Him. And it comes off, and Tyler has been right on the money there. Hope Andrew's on the mend. I saw he did a few shows this week, our buddy Andrew Frazier. But when Harper got hit the other day, I thought, oh, there goes a headline for us because it looked bad, and thank God it doesn't seem to be. But it raised this question that we're going to kick around among the fellas. Who is the most indispensable guy in the city?
Wow.
And who is the most indispensable guy on each team?
Oh, this is great. This is great. I love nerding out of here. This is great. All right. So let's
I
stay
have
Phillies.
Debate, and I thought this would do it.
All right, let's stay Phillies. All right, so
does the fanatic count?
See, I mean, Bryce is probably Schwarber. Schwarber may be more indispensable than Harper because of the pure power. Like if you took Schwarber's power out of the lineup, they're missing a lot of power.
Doesn't make me feel good. He's a free agent after this. He's the most indispensable Philly.
Don't sign him. I'm just throwing it out there. As great as Harper is, Schwarber's power matters. And then listen, I would say Wheeler, but they're so deep in starting pitching that
I think it's a 4-man conversation, and only 3 get on the medal stand. Harper, Schwarber, Trey, and Wheeler. It's one of those 4.
Agreed.
And Trey's interesting. I would lean Harper, but Trey's interesting because Trey's playing really well now. And you can see that when he's in a funk, it seems to drag that. It takes something, that you're missing something when he's not playing.
Yeah, a right-handed bat that at the top of the order that is, going to give you, set the table. So I thought about Turner, but again, without Schwarber, where's your power?
I got to go Schwarber too because he's the clubhouse guy. He's the glue. I know Harper's a leader, but Schwarber feels like the glue, the clubhouse guy.
Yeah,
it's just Schwarber for me.
That's 2 Schwarbers and a Harper. I'll go Harper.
All right, perfect. All right, Flyers is a layup. We all agree. It's one guy.
Yeah, and that's a weak spot with me.
Sam Urson?
Because we know he's the future. My thought was Michkov. So I did invoke our friend Bill Matz to back me up. I said, Bill, before I go in unknowing, let's talk. And Bill was good enough. And he said, we're right. It's Michkov.
Are you workshopping your stuff before you come on the air?
I love that. I love that. That's what a pro is.
And not only that, I'm somebody that knows the value of a great staff because I was blessed with that with the Daily News over the years. I often fall back on Girardi or, Aaron Carter or somebody, Bobby Cooney and the Sixers, but I fell back on the Flyers. So I went to another great staff and I went to yours. And I don't know Charlie, but I met Bill and I went to Bill and Bill was great.
Let me ask you a question. Hockey's a weak spot for you say?
Yes.
I'm sure. Why? Because you grew up
I'll
at
tell
that
you
time
what.
when the Flyers.
Here's the thing with hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing with hockey is this, and it's going to go back to something really ridiculous. But hockey's a weak spot in the sense that when I was at the Daily News all those years, I read the hockey more thoroughly than everything because it doesn't come naturally to me.
Huh.
And the reason it doesn't come naturally to me is this, is when the Flyers came about and came up and won the 2 cups, I was a guy that was running full court basketball in the playground. And I turned around one day and said, where'd everybody go? Where'd they go? They were playing street hockey.
Wow.
And I always thought, I don't want to play street hockey.
Right.
And so I guess in that reason, and I believe that if you can't play it on your own 2 feet, maybe it's not a real sport.
Right.
But look, some of the great nothing's better than playoff hockey, and some of the best memories at the Daily News are all Flyers related. But I'd be lying to say that I feel that I know Philadelphia and I know the sports, and I can hold my own on the Eagles, Flyers, and Sixers. But if you really want to get into the nuances of the Flyers, I have to admit that of my 4, it's definitely my weakest.
Yeah, I would agree that of all, I would probably have it the intricacies, nuance. It would be 4 that I know, like football,
right,
baseball, basketball. Like I could coach it, right?
Yep.
The hockey, I don't think I could coach it.
Don't you think it's just because, like, most of us just haven't played it? I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
You can only
really?
observe and learn so much.
I didn't play ice hockey, so
right. Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I have to tell you,
yes,
dude, I love play. I don't think I've missed a game of these playoffs. Like literally, I'll go home and I'll catch a part of the game, if not the whole game. I love the playoff hockey. It's the playoffs are awesome. Like I can't wait for the Flyers.
I'm rooting for McDavid and Edmonton to break the streak. That'd be cool.
Me too. I'm with him. He's the original Oil. He's the OO.
I'll be busting the hat out once they clinch.
You've been an Oilers fan for a while.
3 years now.
You're an OO.
Let me ask you guys. Well, I got you 2 wise people here. Did you see Paul Maurice, the coach of the Panthers? He asked Brindamore not to come out and shake hands at the end, and he doesn't think coaches should be involved in the team handshake. It should just be players on players, and that's what happened. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, I like it.
You think it's weird?
Yeah,
I like it.
I don't know.
It's all part of the thing. It's all part about sportsmanship, and they're part of the people that need to show sportsmanship too. I think.
Yeah, I don't mind the head. Like he was saying, well, you have like 12 coaches, and I think the head coach, because you're scheming and planning against the other team.
You're right.
You should be like, oh,
Okay.
good job.
Yeah. I get you. You guys are right. I'll rescind. You guys are right. One of my favorite things is, when we do all the youth games, line up.
Yeah. You got to get your boys when they're celebrating. Yeah. Hey, line up.
I like being the last guy.
Yeah, of course. Yes. Yeah.
Line up. Come on,
my
boys. Line up.
favorite thing that happened. My favorite thing that there was so much Villanova-related stuff floating around about Pope Leo when he came. My favorite thing that I saw was a New Yorker cartoon that just showed two lines coming in different ways, and all the pitchers going, good conclave, good conclave, good conclave, good conclave.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
That was great.
That's fabulous. All right.
Yeah.
Sixers. Most indispensable Sixers. I mean,
that's another lock.
It is a lock. You're laughing. It's a lock. And it's proven. In fact, you can't argue against it. It's Embiid.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, that's
and when we get a little later on, I might have something disappointing to say. Yeah, but it's definitely that's a move on and go to the Eagles. Embiid, I think.
Yes,
it's a lock.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Birds. Oh my God, this is tough.
This is a four-man. I'm gonna put up four candidates. You tell me whether there's another one there.
All right, you're going to put up. Hold on, let me guess the four candidates. You're going to put up Carter.
Yep.
You're going to put up Barkley. You're going to put up Hurts, and you're going to put up AJ.
Oh, whoa, no
I'm going to
Jalen.
put up Lane Johnson.
Oh, Lane
Oh,
Johnson.
Lane. You're going to go Lane over AJ Brown.
I am, but if we can make it a five-man conversation, I'm fine with AJ in there.
Yeah, I think you can go five because I agree with Lane.
I will say, the first four games, all those players played. They're 2-2.
No, he didn't. AJ Brown didn't play.
Well, he wasn't on the original. Oh, he was on his four. He had a Lane though.
Yeah.
I was saying Lane, Hurts.
AJ didn't play.
No, but Lane, Hurts, Carter, and Barkley all played 2-2.
And that makes
they
Anthony's
added one
argument
player to the starting lineup, and they went on an undefeated run.
Coop.
Yep. I'm just saying, everything changed once Coop entered.
Yeah, I almost go. I think I got to go Barkley.
Okay, I'm going to go medal stand. Okay.
Actually, I like that.
My bronze medal goes to a great one. I'm going to put Hurts in the bronze medal.
Okay, so time out.
I think I'm going to surprise you. Go ahead.
Time out. Hold on, because I like the if we're going to go those five, I'll tell you Jalen's five.
Okay, he's three for me, but it's a good conversation, Anthony. That's why we're ending on it.
I mean, I think he's five. Listen, as instrumental as he is. Now, I'm not saying you're going to win a Super Bowl with him, but without him, but. I mean, make the case. Lane is the O-line, the key to that O-line.
No doubt.
And
it should be based, Anthony, on can they win? Indispensable means can they win without this guy? So that's where
you win without A.J. Brown. They didn't.
They didn't. No. Nope.
I mean,
good point.
Is it just players? Can they win without Howie? Can they win without Nick?
I don't. No, we're just talking players. If I was doing it, we can win.
Just like my boy Nick, but
no, AJ, you're not winning. Carter's the gold.
I think Carter is the gold. I'm surprised.
Yeah, Carter's the gold.
I thought about that. I'm surprised I landed on that. And boy, they do not have a substitute for.
No.
If Saquon's out, they are not in good shape. But the way you remedy that is not by trying to emulate Saquon. It's by making the offense different, and you could do it.
Agreed.
But I'll tell you what, I'm with you. I think it's Carter right now.
It's Carter.
They're in bad shape if Carter's out for a long time.
Not only that, right? He's so freaking. Because you're right, there's a huge drop-off at tackle, but he's also the most dominant. He's the reason why Mahomes and that Chiefs offense was useless. I mean, it really was. He's the reason. Listen, Baun was terrific, and Coop was terrific, and Quinyon was terrific, and Smith was terrific. It started with him. Because Carter was doubled and tripled that whole game. He still wreaked havoc. You're right, Pat.
Yeah, he makes a lot of open lanes. And the other thing was insane how many snaps he played last year.
Yes. Yeah, when you think about Davis, who you can't count on for those anywhere near those kinds of snaps.
Right. That's why I think that I was so glad when you put Matt Rule on. It was smart the day after the draft because I think his guy's going to have to play a big role.
Agreed. Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're spot on. Spot on with that.
So now, boys, go ahead.
No, I just
what
think
I want to say, though, is here's where it gets tough, and we may ruffle feathers. Who's the most indispensable guy in the city? I will start the feather ruffling. I think it's Embiid.
Yeah. I mean, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
He destroys the whole team. His absence, you want to talk about the donut hole, whatever it is,
Yeah.
You're done.
Without they go from a team that can win any night to a team that can't get it done at all.
No, you're right. Like without you go from a championship type of contender to a lottery team.
Yes.
Isn't that the nature of the sport though? Because it's a super with 5 guys.
Well, it's so few. It's the fewest amount of people on the court at any one time sport. Yeah.
You're right.
Carter, there's 10 other guys trying to make up for Carter,
Where is this Flyers rebuild without Michkov?
Well, they're dead.
Right.
There's no interest without them.
Right.
But they're still far away from contention. So the team that, if Embiid, to Pat's point, if he's himself, that's it. They could have won it this year. Think about it. Embiid's himself. He's as dominant as can be. And you got Tyrese. Paul George is going to wake up and be into the game now. And then all of a sudden, Tyrese, George, you mix in McCain, say he doesn't get hurt. They could win it.
You can argue that even when he was healthy, they can't get out of the second round.
Nah, but there was flaws around the Simmons thing. With the way that this Knicks team, Pacers team, and Embiid, I agree with Pat. I think they win it.
And when you look at Michkov, they weren't very good with Michkov, and they weren't very good without Michkov. The Michkov thing's more of a thing when they get to be good. Let's see how indispensable he is then.
Yeah. The problem is we're in such a bad place with the Sixers, but no Embiid is going to kill that franchise. It's killed the franchise.
Right.
It's going to send them to a rebuild. They're going to fight against it, not yet do the rebuild. It's going to put them in a bigger hole. They're going to, Maury's going to get up there and try to lie to himself and lie to us and try to scramble. And he's going to hope for a miracle. And the miracle's not going to come. And it's going to be a disaster. And they're going to be irrelevant for the next 6 years.
Yep.
That proves Pat's point.
God, I hate talking to Sixers. It depresses me so.
But that proves Pat's point. It does.
Yeah.
Unless
I hate to do it
Padre
too.
Pio, here, Joe. And the next thing you know, Joe's himself, then they can win.
Do you know who Padre Pio is, Joey?
Of course. I said his prayer last night. Just,
Good man. That's a good boy, Joey.
Yeah, I got stuck on a bad back road down to Sea Isle, and I ran into some kind of Padre Pio thing I've never seen before. So
that's right near St. Augustine. You drove right by the road that leads you to St. Augustine. I drive there almost every day to pick Anthony up. It's a Padre Pio shrine.
What?
Yes, there's a shrine
from that area?
in the middle of I don't know why there's a Padre Pio shrine there, but Anthony goes to St. Augustine, and it's down there, and it's in Buena or one of those back roads to get to the shore. And you on the road, there's a Padre Pio thing. My wife does it every day.
That's wild.
Let's get Embiid down there. We might need to get him down there.
Yes.
See what we can do.
In fact, it's a great idea. That's another great idea you had today.
Yeah, what are you saving on tolls? You taking back roads down to the shore?
Oh, I love the back road.
Yeah.
I never even knew the Commodore Barry Bridge existed until a couple of years ago, but I love going over that, and you
drive right by
listen
my
to
house.
GPS, it takes you a different way every time. Yeah.
You come right by my house. You know that.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Because
You
go down to Commodore Barry, right? That's 322. Right? You take it 322 to 55 probably, or 320.
Yes.
Right? That's what you do.
Yes.
So I could throw a football. I mean, maybe not now, but close to off of 322 in Mullica Hill. It's like right there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Next time you do it, let me know. We'll stop for a pop.
Why not?
The shrine was conceived in 1997 by Marie and Pete DeAndrea, Italian-American farmers in Buna, designed by local architect Ron Angelo, and it consists of an actual glove. The shrine has a glove of St. Padre Pio as a relic.
That's awesome. Yeah. There's a town.
That's solid.
In fact, this is on. Tomorrow I'll send you the picture. I will see if you can see it. So there's my favorite town in Italy is a town called Vieste. So it's in Puglia. It's in the Gargano region, right?
Yeah.
So this town, I love this town. It's magical. So every year we made friends with this skipper. He takes you for because it's on the sea. It juts out into the Adriatic Sea. So he takes you for a boat ride, and it's awesome. Like the kids loved it. And every year he takes us by this Padre Pio miracle, right? So you look and all you see is rocks. And then if you look close enough, inside these rocks is a portrait.
You can see Joel Embiid.
Of Joel Embiid and Padre Pio. No, it's Padre Pio's, and it's the shroud and his face. Hey, dude, it's in the middle of these rocks in the sea. I don't know how this thing, but it's him. I've seen it. It's bizarre. There's no way you can paint this. And it's on these rocks, and it stares at you, and you're like, this fucking is unbelievable, this motherfucker.
I have never.
Wow.
I am amazed because I've never heard until I started doing the show with you. I never even heard of Padre Pio.
He's a big deal, Padre Pio.
Apparently, yeah.
Come on, man.
I swear, when I before I went on my trip to Asia, I had hip problems and whatever, and I would pray to Padre Pio, and then right when I got into Asia or whatever and skated the first day, my hip pain was just gone, and I was just like,
Padre Pio, man.
Patron saint of the skaters, Padre Pio.
I swear it's the strongest prayer.
He's the healer. Padre Pio is a healer. He's legit, man.
That's what I'm learning.
Anyway,
there you go.
That's a great conversation, dude. Great conversation. Love it.
Try to get one each week that we can kick around.
It's
always fun.
I love this stuff.
Yep.
Who's second behind? Is it Carter or Schwarber?
I think it's Carter.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to repeat, Pat.
I think they are too.
Yeah.
I think they are too.
They're going to repeat. Yeah. I feel it. Feel it.
They had Patullo on yesterday. All I want out of Patullo is that when they're just, and I thought you were right on the money again with Dave Murphy. Let's not turn this into a circus. I don't want to run Saquon 30 times a game either. That's not going to work. In fact, I think in the draft next year, they ought to think about getting a real horse to become, nobody's going to become the next Saquon, but
agreed.
Somebody to really light the load.
Right.
You don't want to turn. You're right. Hurts isn't a guy that you start winging it all over the field with. I mean, Hurts draws strength from his legs and how he opens up the field running on the run. So I hope Patullo, because I swear, I think Lurie and Howie won't be happy until it is an aerial circus.
Although I tell you something, I heard that Jeffries changed his tune on the run.
How about that? Yeah. Okay.
That he's now views it as a badge of honor to be the best run team.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And I sensible play calling. That's all I want out of the offensive coordinator.
That's it.
Sensible
I
play
don't need
calling.
you to be Joe Genius.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We say.
And do you think Hurts will ever be able to work that middle of the field, or do you think that with the right guy and stuff that, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he's a veteran. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, he's been at it a while now. He's been at it a minute. I mean, the kid was born to be a quarterback, right? Like, he was a quarterback from a young age. Like, that's stuff you learn early.
Right.
Like, you're in college, you have those big windows. That's when you're learning to pick the middle of the field. I just think there's something about it that he doesn't feel comfortable. Unless he's moving, right? Like, it's probably his size, right? Like, a lot of guys, that's why Drew Brees had to take such a 9, 11-step drop to see, right? And to see the middle of the field. I think that's a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I thought Dave was on something about that slot receiver. And, one thing is, I hope they give Dotson a full chance.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to light it up, but I think there's something there with Dotson. I really do.
Yeah.
When they throw him the ball, look, you remember guys like Quez Watkins that drove you crazy, that when you needed him, he dropped the ball. When they needed Dotson, he caught the ball and did something with it.
He's right. Man's right.
Yeah, Greg Garrity has some good catches, too.
Greg Garrity.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Love Greg Garrity.
They got to upgrade that position.
Greg Garrity was a poor man's Scott Fitzke.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know Scott Fitzke?
No.
Penn State?
Nah, I don't like Penn State football either. They're next on Notre Dame.
Scott Fitzke played for the Stars?
Nope.
I don't know.
Pat, he does this to me once a show.
Because you guys pull out these obscure names and obscure moments. Come on.
Does Bot know Scott Fitzke?
Spot doesn't know Scott.
I don't know Scott.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Thanks for being honest, Tyler.
Oh, man. Bot.
And it's funny, you say Greg Garrity. I remember his kid because he and I were at Penn State at the same time.
Right. All right, brother. Great stuff. I mean, as always, one of my favorites. I love this day to chop it up with you. Always thinking, always fun, always comes up with great ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, guys. Always enjoy it. We'll do it again next week.
You're the man. There he is. Pat McLoone from the editor's desk. I love it. All right, let's take care of some business because we're running late like we always do.
Imagine that. Surprise, surprise. You know it's not a surprise. TrueMark Financial Credit Union always being there for you with great rates, programs, all kinds of things. So it's HELOC. It's HELOC month over at TrueMark Financial Credit Union. So if you're working from home, it's time to stop calling plays from the couch. With a TrueMark Financial HELOC Select, you can tap into your home's equity, finally upgrade that home office, build out a better space, or just finish products you've been putting off. Maybe add a man cave or a couple extra TVs to the house. Who knows? With a HELOC Select, you get a great low rate. You get flexible access, so you can use the funds all at once or pull it out, take it out as you need it, here and there. Lower rates than most personal loans, and no penalties if you pay it off early. Visit TrueMark.com/PHLY to apply and turn your work from home game into a winning play. Terms and conditions do apply. Visit TrueMark.com/HELOC, HELOC for details. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender, NMLS 404938. That's TrueMark.com/HELOC, HELOC. And spring's here. Flowers are still blooming. So savings are happening at Ashley Furniture. So
Ashley!
Spring into some savings already. Save up to 50% off living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, and have it all delivered for free. Plus, long-term, no-interest financing. And you can save on top mattresses. And with mattresses, you get free delivery, setup, and the all-important removal.
I need to go to Ashley. My bed. I hate
you need a new mattress?
Yeah, we've been at it for a minute with that bed. I want to get rid of it.
Bed's important. So Ashley's there to help you. But don't wait.
I got to go to Ashley. What's going on? Sales?
It's only why spring's here. Spring's only like a couple weeks left. So spring into savings now at Ashley, South Jersey, and Philadelphia stores.
I got to go to Ashley.
It's financing with approved credit. Minimum purchase required. Some exclusions may apply. See the store for complete details and hurry over to Ashley stores in South Jersey, Philadelphia, or you can check them out at ashleyfurniture.com.
All right, time for the Ashley hot seat.
Ooh.
I think it's an obvious one for the Ashley hot seat.
A new offensive coordinator in town?
Not a love seat, a hot seat.
Hot seat.
And you're right. It is Kevin Petullo. I think it's only
it's a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah.
Is it?
No, listen, I like Kevin, and I think he's going to do well.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not get it twisted. My man's on the hot seat. Like
A lot of pressure.
The last OC that replaced Steichen, right? Like if you look at how it all went.
Yeah.
What
Is
happened?
that Brian Johnson?
Yep.
Yeah, not
What
great.
happened?
Not great.
And then you go get a proven OC who then gets a head job in Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
So now you have, all right, you lost your mainstay offensive coordinator. Here you go.
Yeah. Don't mess it if it ain't. Don't mess with it if
Here
it
he
ain't
is.
broken.
It's Kevin. Read that.
As we go forward as a staff, you'll see some new wrinkles here and there, but more so, it's just building on what our players do best. And what do they do best?
Thank you, Kevin.
They run the
and
ball.
That's why Bot correctly identified. You might think, well, that quote is, yeah, whatever. Boring quote. He's right. Do what they do best.
Yes.
On that note,
I don't need
let's
many new
bring
wrinkles.
in the great Eagles beat writer, reporter from all PHLY.
And dresser.
No one's better. There he is, Zack Berman, Zachariah. Good morning, Zach.
Hey, good morning. Good talking to you guys.
Oh, listen, always great talking to you. Our OTA update. Let's talk about Kevin. What'd you think of Kevin yesterday and the presser and what he said?
Yeah, I mean, he was in command up there, right? So if you're judging that, then he'll do fine in those public settings, right? He's personable, he's been around, he's comfortable. But you hit it on the head, Anthony, as far as him being on the hot seat, and even or I shouldn't say the hot seat, having the attention on him here to expand on the note you made. The last 3 external hires the Eagles made at offensive coordinator have become head coaches. The last 3 internal hires they made at offensive coordinator have been fired. So it's like, it's now naturally when you become, if you get a head coaching job, it comes off the Super Bowl team. It's hard to kind of repeat that, but it's a trend here. So to go through it with you, the last 3 external hires were Kellen Moore,
Yep.
Shane Steichen, and Frank Reich.
Yep.
Okay. The last 3 internal hires were Brian Johnson, Press Taylor, and Mike Rowe. So Press Taylor wasn't
I forgot
formally.
about Mike Rowe.
Rowe.
God. He was bad.
So it's challenging to replace the guy who's the the head coach, the guy who has that great year, because all 3 of those OCs were hired as head coaches after the Eagles reached the Super Bowl. And like we've been talking about throughout the offseason, it's hard to repeat that. And where does the attention typically go? The offensive coordinator. So I even asked I asked Kevin about this yesterday, about this trend yesterday. And he acknowledged, like, if you think that way, it could be a lot of pressure, but he's not thinking in those terms. So to his benefit, he replaces 10 of 11, or he has 10 of 11 returning starters here. He's worked with Jalen. He's worked with everyone in this offense before. So that's the benefit. But this is something we'll be watching closely.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this thing's a machine. It should be able to run. But to your point, how many starters did they return from when Brian Johnson took over?
Yeah, they lost. Good question. I'd have to look at that. I mean, they did replace. They kept most of their guys. They lost Miles Sanders that year. They had to replace Isaac Seumalo that year. But they did return their quarterback, their starting offensive lineman outside of the right guard. So yeah, it's a very good point.
Yeah, it's interesting, and that's where you got to be who you are. Know thyself. Brings back our conversation from yesterday. What was his take on? Did it come up about do you want to throw it more, chuck it, like what the identity of the offense is going to be? Like any of that stuff come up yesterday?
Yeah, I asked his philosophy as a play caller, his approach as a play caller, and it was somewhat generic as far as putting the I'm putting the players in position to do what they do best. So if you go based on that logic, Saquon Barkley and the offensive line is outstanding, right? But no, he said there are going to be some adjustments, changes, but it's going to be the Eagles' offense, and I do believe that. But more than anything, and I've said this on the show, it's going to be Jalen's offense, and the Eagles want an offense that is where the thread line's consistent with the quarterback and not necessarily the coordinator.
Yeah, sit tight 1 second because we are in overtime. OT on the program. Yeah, baby.
I love the horn.
I love the hockey horn. I can't go wrong with a hockey horn. Yeah, I'm with you. And again, it's funny, man. I was thinking about our conversation a lot about it. And because our philosophies, yours and mine, jive. Like we have some, but how we deploy them to current personnel is where we differ. Like how you would look at it in current and when you're looking at personnel, which is why I liked what Kevin said yesterday, which is you got to work within your player's strengths.
Sure. I look at the human dynamics involved here, right? And that A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert, these are alpha personalities, right? These are guys who, and I keep going back to it, they obviously did what needed to be done to win last year, but there for all these great players, there's legacy chasing involved, right? And you want your numbers, you want the ball.
Up your gigi. I need you to win and repeat. All right? You just said it. The key is to win. W-I-N. All right?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about your numbers. I don't want to hear about your legacy. All right? I need you to win. That's what I need from you. Did you enjoy what happened? Did everybody make money? Did everybody get something out of it? Yeah. So stick your ego up your ass.
Yeah, but I think it's I'm fascinated to see it because I don't want to frame it like they're egotistical. I frame it like they're great players, and great players want to be the reason why you
irrelevant,
win,
counselor. Irrelevant. Well,
you've been in locker rooms, you know how this works.
Let's go further because I know that's what Big Dom will tell him. Because Big Dom has already told them that. I know that. All right. Big Dom will already tell him, go, listen, no. You saw what Shady McCoy said yesterday. He outed AJ as a source. You see that?
Yeah, I did see what LaShawn said, but it's honestly it's consistent with what we've been talking about. That
what we know.
That this offense is about Jalen. This offense is about Jalen. Yeah.
So
and that it's not the coordinator.
Once again, until everybody gets it through their heads that what kind of quarterback style he is. Like he was great last year. Yeah, you put 8 in the box and try to stop Saquon. He'll go beat you downfield along the sidelines. What's wrong with that?
Well, it's a good point.
Change next year.
I mean, I look at it like defenses are spending the offseason watching the Eagles, studying the Eagles. And again,
they're not a hard study, Zach. I talked to defensive coordinators, namely the one in Kansas City. They're not a hard study. They're better on the line. They overpower you. That is a big part. Sometimes, as much as you and I love to get into the X's and O's, take it from the old head, right? Like I love you and I are very similar. We love the game. We love the X and O piece of it. Leaning on a guy. That's what they do. That's how they win. It's not some, amazing math equation.
No, you are correct. And look, inside zone has worked with LaShawn McCoy here. It's worked with Miles Sanders here. It's worked with DeAndre Swift here, and it worked with Saquon Barkley here. Because when you have that offensive line and that offensive line coach and the talent that they have and the +1 in the running game, I hear you there. I just keep going back to it. Like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts. AJ
Hurts,
Devontae.
You act like Jalen Hurts is what? Like, what is Jalen Hurts owed?
Well,
honestly, I love the kid, and the kid is great where he's at. But you're giving me Hurts like he needs, and it's criminal not to have him throw the ball 35 times a game.
I'm not saying 35, but it's got to be more than 20. And I just think there's human dynamics at play there.
Yeah, and again, I keep going back to his record when he throws the ball more.
Sure. I mean, typically when you're throwing the ball more, you're playing from behind. But yeah, no, you are right.
Come on,
and
you know his
last
skill
year,
set. Look at him. Everybody's plays the position differently. What makes you achieve and makes you great at one thing, suddenly turning it into a guy you're not, is a
how about
recipe
AJ and
for
Devontae?
failure.
Yeah. AJ and Devontae. I mean, they're
You don't think AJ knows who Jalen is?
I do think AJ knows who Jalen is. Yeah. But AJ views himself
square peg in the round hole.
AJ's an elite receiver in this league. Devontae is, a top 10, top 12 receiver in this league.
I'm not denying any of that. I agree with you.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think there's going to be more of a push to pass the ball this year. I could be, we're what, 98 days from week 1?
Baby. We're Jalen Carter days away.
There you go. So we'll have a better idea as this approaches. But it would surprise me if they run at the same frequency that they did last year.
Well, I mean, that's
why wouldn't they?
There's a wide
Why
spectrum.
wouldn't they?
Go ahead.
I just don't why wouldn't they, Zach? If it's not broke, why would you tweak it?
Because defenses now Anthony's right. If you win at the line of scrimmage and you have Saquon, you're going to be able to run successfully. I think one of the things they saw too in 2023 is, and this is something Jason Kelsey spoke about quite a bit, is the opposing defenses had the entire offseason studying
but
what
there was
you're
a different
doing.
type of run game in 23.
Sure. But this
it was
is something
because of the quarterback.
Yeah, this is something defense.
That's why the thing went sideways, because the quarterback. You knew what they knew how to take away all that zone read stuff.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And you had freaking Miles Sanders running.
Yeah. So they ran the ball well. I mean, that's kind of been the consistent thing. 22, 23, 24. They've run the ball well.
The different types of run. My point to you is they're different. The running game was different what it was when they went and lost to Kansas City as opposed to this past year. That's all.
Oh, that's absolutely true. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I just don't think I don't think Saquon's going to get the same volume that he had. I think you can't rely on the same.
Extraordinary. Like, again, you're talking about a wide spectrum. So, yeah,
sure.
Like, it's what the volume he got last year was extraordinary. Like, he's not going to get any close to that.
Yeah, so I mean I don't think they're going to come out and be the BYU passing offense from the early 90s. But I think there's going to be I think they're going to pass noticeably more than they did last year, for sure.
All right. Well, we may be missing words. I don't know. Yeah. I get the sense from you that you want to run more of the Bengals offense.
No, because they don't have Burrow, and Jalen's not Burrow. But
sometimes when you talk about it, sometimes you make me feel like that you're intimating that he should get what Burrow gets as far as the volume of passes.
But I do think that AJ and Devontae.
AJ knows who Jalen is. He knows that his skill set's different than Joe Burrow's skill set. There's nothing wrong with that,
Sure,
but there's some sort of what I railing against right now is that there's some sort of indictment that if you don't throw the ball 40 times, that doesn't make you a good quarterback.
No, I don't view it like that. I just don't think they're going to go into halftime of games with AJ Brown having 2 touches, right? There's and you had that last year. You had games where Jalen's throwing the ball 10, 12 times.
All of a sudden, he's going to be, again, the quarterback's got to be accurate too. Like the quarterback, if you're going to throw it, if you're going to throw it like that, I mean, lost in this conversation is there were just a lot of times that the offense languished, right? When you weren't running the ball. Like, you remember those second and third quarters that all of a sudden it was like, and then all of a sudden, Saquon would hit a home run. Yeah. And everything was going down.
No, you're correct. That New Orleans game jumps to mind. The the Rams game jumps to mind. But if Jalen was sitting in the seat and you were talking to Jalen and you asked him about the passing game, what do you think he would say?
Well, I know where his mind is. He wants to throw the ball, but it's not up to him, right? Like, it's not like, listen, the player always, I respect the player. He loves Michael Jordan, right? Like, so he worships Jordan. I respect that. So you want to achieve and you want to be the man. I'm sure deep down in the recesses of his own psyche, he questions his role in the Super Bowl victory, which he should never. Which, if I was talking to him, I'd say, dude, the reason why this offense was so good last year was because you were running it, all right? Because of your threat to move, because of your touch on third downs, because what they did when they try to stack the box on you. Like, you play great. You were a huge part of this thing. It doesn't work without you. There's no reason why you need to go chase numbers. And it feels like to me that you and Jalen are talking about chasing 300-yard games.
I'm not suggesting chasing numbers. I think there's a thought there that if you're standing still, you're falling behind, right? And that like that what's the next thing in your game, right? And so I think that I think there's a thought that, all right, Super Bowl MVP last year, why not MVP this year, right? That like it's
He's
that approach.
Not an MVP regular season quarterback.
I think he would disagree with you.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm sure. And I would disagree with people that say that I'm not an award-winning screenwriter. I would disagree with that. All right? Whatever.
And I think your next script might be one, right?
But what does it mean when he's not a guy that's going to throw for 300 yards on the regular?
Well, he
and if
has
you're talking about MVP of the league, you're talking about a numbers award.
Sure. And numbers, wins.
Absolutely. Forget the wins. He's a winner all day long. You're talking numbers. You're not getting the MVP without throwing for 50 touchdowns and having gaudy numbers. He's not a gaudy numbers quarterback.
And I think that he believes that he can be better in the passing offense than he's been.
Can he be better? Yeah. Can he be gaudy numbers better? No. You are what you are. To a certain extent. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean he's bad. It doesn't mean he's languished. It doesn't mean any of that. It doesn't mean he can't improve. But you're talking about like these ridiculous numbers, like to get MVP. And again, if the MVP is about numbers, which regular season often is. Now there's the occasion that that he'll be in the running for it because he's got a lot of rushing touchdowns or whatever you want to call it. But you know what I'm talking about. We're not like, I'm going to be pretty crystal clear. Like the gaudy numbers. There's no reason to chase gaudy numbers.
I hear what you're saying. I
know you disagree. And I'm trying to go old head, young head with you.
To me, this isn't even old head, young head. This is it. And you've been in locker rooms. Like this is understanding the dynamics of great players, the locker rooms, things of that nature.
No, but I'm arguing more with you. Like I
believe that when you're throwing
does Jalen believe that? Yeah. But I think Jalen's half delusional. Like I don't think Jalen is a gaudy numbers quarterback. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think you win like that with Jalen.
I think if
I got news for you. I'm not the only one who thinks that.
No, I understand, and I'm not disagreeing with you. But I think Jalen would sit here, and if he was being honest, he would say,
"Why do you think that there's a chasm between the coach and him? Like there's always been a chasm because I think other people recognize what he does well at."
Yeah. But I think he would say,
"Well, who cares what he says? What I do? Are you trying to win, or are you trying to cowtail to the player?"
No. Here, I'm saying he would say, "What did I do when I played against Joe Burrow last year? What did I do when I played against Josh Allen 2 years ago?" Right?
And that's all well and good. I'm not saying that because a quarterback has gaudy numbers. I'm prefacing it that he's better than you. I'm saying that you're a great quarterback, and what makes you better is that you're a winner. You know how to win. You're a great, forget chasing numbers. The whole conversation boils down to one thing: chasing 300-yard games. That's what we're talking about, Zach.
I mean, no, because these two things might not be mutually exclusive, right? Like from his perspective, he feels you can go for, you got 13-4 and win the Super Bowl by throwing the ball 20-30% more than he did last year.
All right. I mean, we're going to go round and round, so we'll just end it. I mean, that is. All right. What else? And I love the great debate. It really is. It's a beautiful debate. I appreciate it. I think you're listening to the player too much, but that's fine. I mean,
but I would say that's what my role is here at PHLY, right? Like you're
a reporter, and you also you're also a strong football mind. You have your own opinions.
You're right.
Like when I talk to you, I want to know what's happening because you're our ears and eyes in that team. Nobody does it better. You're great at it. Great at it.
Thank you.
You're also, I respect your football acumen. So when I speak to you, I'm talking to you like a peer football man. Like, you have your own opinions. I love your opinions.
Yeah. So I would say this offensive line has proven to be better run blocking than pass blocking. They've proven that when you the same way Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson during the bye week last year said put it on us. When you put it on this offensive line's proven they can win.
Yeah, we agree. All right, so what else came of yesterday? How about the other side of the ball?
Yeah, a few quick things here. Bryce Huff not present, and I think that's notable because, look, I understand it's not mandatory, and you don't make a big deal about Lane Johnson not being there or Devontae Smith not being there. Bryce Huff's not there, and Bryce Huff's someone who is making $17 million a year. We don't know what his role is going to be. We don't know if he's going to be on the team post June 1st. He's more it's more conducive to trading him post June 1st in terms of the cap. The cash is the same no matter what. So I think this is a storyline that we should definitely pay attention to. When the Eagles were in base defense yesterday, Cooper DeJean was playing on the outside. That's something we should absolutely be paying attention to. I don't think Cooper DeJean's coming off the field this year. The Eagles don't play base much, 18-20% of the snaps, but I think Cooper will be outside in base in the slot when the Eagles are nickel. But I do think long term pay attention to Cooper DeJean there. It was really hard to decipher some of the other position competitions. Reed Blankenship wasn't at practice, so you didn't get to see who that second safety was going to be next to Blankenship. They had Makuba and Sidney Brown with the first teamers. At right guard, the first one up yesterday was Tyler Steen. They only had one regular starter with them yesterday. That was Jordan Mailata. But it was notable that Tyler Steen was the first one up. Kenyon Green was the second one up at right guard.
This Bryce Huff, man, this is irritating. He stink of all stinks, and you don't show up for the OTA.
Oh, that's Zacharias telling you.
Like, this guy what's going on with his headspace? How does he not feel like he needs to be here? Is the team okay with this? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, the one thing that I would just, without, I don't know if this is the case, but you can make the argument the Eagles don't want him there. If the Eagles want to trade him, if the Eagles want to trade him, if the Eagles want to trade him, then you don't want him to get injured, right? You don't want him to get injured pre-June 1st. Or if they want to move on from him, you don't want him injured. So I don't know if that's the case, but that is something you've seen in the past. James, I think this situation is comparable to James Bradbury last year. Now, James Bradbury showed up to camp, competed in camp, actually made the 53 before getting injured. But I don't think inside that building, the Eagles are relying on Bryce Huff to be a major part of the defense this year.
Wow.
Jeez,
it's all right. Man. Listen, everybody makes a mistake. It was one mistake, but it is what it is. I like how they handle it. Like flush the mistake. So,
I mean, does it matter much? I'm looking now. I mean, his dead cap hit they traded was $29 million. They're okay. You think they're okay accepting just dealing with that?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Post June 1st, you spread that over 2 years, and so what's that dead cap hit drops post June 1st quite a bit.
Okay.
From my understanding.
Okay.
Do you like the cap?
Now I don't know who else would want him, right? But this is a guy who was a double-digit sack player before he came here in a different scheme. So if you look at Atlanta, San Francisco, now Atlanta added 2 edge rushers during the first round of the draft, but Robert Saleh, Jeff Ulbrich, these are guys who had a lot of success with Bright Stuff. So that type of defensive system, perhaps he's a better fit there.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. Baldy said that from the beginning. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Baldy was on it. Baldy.
Yeah, Baldy knows what's up.
He does know what's up. All right. So what else? I was just trying to think what other anything else stand out?
So in the it was real in the passing offense, a lot of dump offs, right? They weren't really going downfield. They didn't have AJ or Devontae. It was interesting. Speaking to Dallas Goedert, had a chance to catch up with Goddard yesterday for the first time this offseason. And he explained that there were times when he didn't know if he was going to be back. He didn't know if he was going to be traded. He didn't know if he was going to be released. He communicated that there was a certain number that needed to be that needed to be reached, a threshold that needed to be reached for him to return. He's back this year. We'll see what happens beyond this year. But he looked good yesterday. I mean, they threw to him a number of times when the first teamers were out there. Now, the same thing was happening last spring and summer, but it was a good Goddard day yesterday for sure.
Yeah, I'm pumped up for Goddard.
Yeah, what was up with the you guys couldn't get rid of me? Seems like a little loaded statement to the press.
He's just busting stones.
Busting stones?
I mean, Zach, did you take on the umbrage to that?
No, not at all. No, it was said in a joking way.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, Dallas didn't know if he was going to be back this year,
No,
right?
and
I think
you're right. He didn't know.
Yeah, and his mind, he literally went to thinking about, all right, how would it be with a new opportunity somewhere else?
Sure.
I thought it was interesting. In your piece, you had mentioned Adoree Jackson was seen to be the starter ahead of Ringo.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. That's up on allphly.com right now. It's 15 observations from yesterday's OTAs. Adoree Jackson was the first one up. Now I think that was kind of deference to the veteran because Keely Ringo slid in thereafter. I'm expecting Keely to be the starting corner unless he struggles this offseason. But Adoree Jackson was the first one up when they went to 7-on-7s.
I like it. My brother, what's your schedule?
Yeah, we're in studio 2:00 today. We'll be talking more about OTAs from yesterday. So make sure everyone checks that out.
And what's their schedule?
The Eagles have they're practicing today, and then next week they have 3 practices. So 3 more OTAs next week, and then they have 1 mandatory minicamp the following week, and then school's out for the summer.
School's out. That's right. School's out for the summer. And then Zach goes to get a little relaxed time for Zachariah.
We got shows every day, so yeah.
I know.
I mean, I'll get a day here and there, but yeah, we got 2:00 every day.
That's where Bro comes in. Bro comes in relief.
Please.
Please.
Yeah. That's my wife saying. She's watching right now. She's saying, take that time.
I love your wife. Tell her she's a star. Well,
I appreciate
ask her if she wants to do it.
I don't want her on. She stole
the show in Brazil when she was tweeting.
That's true. I'm afraid what she would say. So yeah, she's got some opinions. I can tell you that.
I love it. My brother, we love you. You know that, buddy. Thanks,
appreciate it, guys. Good talking to you.
See you, brother. Here he is, Zachariah.
All the good ones got opinions.
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. What'd you learn today, Joey?
Being on air is a little scary.
Joey's our seat holder today. We love it.
Man.
We got to do a Q&A skate with you.
Yeah, no, I'm down for sure.
All right, because the chat's interested in your skating. You already got come up. You got anything coming up? How was? Did you go to Sweden?
I'm going to Sweden next week. I went to Asia.
I meant to say, when are you going to Sweden? I knew you.
I'm going to Sweden next week. Well, it's crazy because they rebuilt like a little bit of Love Park in Sweden in Malmo.
Dude, that is so awesome. You got now. Listen, you're going on assignment. All right.
All right.
I need video footage and I need a live shot you at Love Park in Malmo.
I got you. But it's crazy. They measured all all the old ledges and stuff, and they brought it over there, brought like the old tiles and stuff, and they invited like 10 skaters from like this generation. And I guess I'm one of those.
No, that's huge, dude. We want to show that.
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited to skate Love Park again. I'm like a lot older now. Last time I skated, I was like 16. You know.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I'm old.
We're gonna do a segment, skating with Joey.
I like it.
All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Castellanos to be one of the first ones.
Oh man, I love it.
You'll be skating with Joey. It's Nikki and Joey be skating together.
Joey
Talking ball.
Yeah.
How about that?
I like it.
You like that?
Yeah.
Are you down?
I'm down. I'm excited for all of it. But no. But it is crazy, the whole the Love Park thing. Which
that's a great story. I want that story. You better be live.
It's crazy.
Love Park, Sweden.
The people of Sweden, because they tore down like the Muni, which is like what we used to skate in Center City, and then Malmo, they're like all into skating. They have like skate school and stuff over there.
Really?
And they
you'll be like a legend coming over, dude.
Dude, those guys went to skate school. They had recess doing kickflips during recess. If I had that, I mean, when you're a little kid and you're like obsessed with skating, but they used like the people of Sweden like brought it over to Philly, like, and they were like, oh, like this is what we're doing for our city. And they're like rebuilding some stuff in Center City for us to skate, like where we used to skate, which is like cool. And like that's like how it's all like kind of getting put together, which is like kind of crazy. Which is like, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see
what's gonna be awesome.
What's gonna unfold?
That's great
For the whole Philadelphia scene.
That's gonna be great. All right, what do we got back in the day?
Try out some meatballs before you get there. Get ready to get used to
No, he's not eating meatballs.
Gina's
Gina's meatballs. His mother Gina.
Yeah.
We're not gonna eat Swedish meatballs. Stop.
It's not the same.
What do you got?
We got back in the day, but also there's Die Hard sales, $36. It's a flash sale. It ends tonight, I believe. So get on that. That's less than $1 a week. So what are you waiting for? Less than $1 a week. You get coverage like Zach's 15 observations from OTAs. You don't get that anywhere. You get 20% off events, 20% off merch, exclusive content, access to the Discord channel, and a free shirt when you sign up. So you're repping your Philly tees wherever you go. $36. Do it today.
Do it, and do us a favor, please. Solid. Like the show. Segments. Like them. Subscribe. It really helps. It helps us generate more content. Gets into the YouTube algorithm. So, just like it.
Algorithms. All right, back in the day.
Let's do it.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day.
With VG.
Yeah. We're going 15 years ago, May 29th, 2010. The 20th perfect game in MLB history. Roy Halladay.
The 1-2 pitch. Hit toward third. Castro has it. Spins. Fires. A perfect game! Roy Halladay has thrown the second perfect game in Philadelphia Phillies history. He faces 27 batters. He retires all 27. It's the
wow.
Crazy.
I'll tell you a story. You know where I was that day?
Mm-mm.
It was a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Chicago. Why was I in Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
Flyers were playing in the Stanley Cup Finals in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I was writing for AOL Fan House.
Wow.
You remember that?
No.
You remember it was a big sport. It was like the precursor to Yahoo Sports.
Okay.
So I was writing for them, and they're like, "Yo, dude, can you do a column on Roy Halladay?" Because I'm like, yeah. He's like, he got a no-hitter through 6 innings. So I went downstairs into the press room, and the game was somewhere. I had access to it. I don't know why. It was in the press room. Maybe it was on my computer or whatever. So I was watching the Flyers game from the press room and doing. It was the United Airlines Center. And then I wrote the column about Halladay and what how incredible he was, and dominant.
Yeah.
And then I wrote a column on the game. Flyers lost. High scoring game.
We had pub discussion last night. Is Zach Wheeler the second best pitcher since the 1970s in Phillies history after Carlton? Does he surpass Doc?
So it's a great question. I think he's got to do it more in the postseason. Like, perfect game, no hitter in the playoffs. Like,
well, we came down that he might be, but if you had one game,
right,
probably go
signature
Doc.
game.
Yeah,
he needs a signature game.
Yeah,
like Wheeler does. Like listen, he pitched his ass off against the Mets. He's done it longer. He's come into his own. Unlike Halladay, who came into his own in Toronto, he came to his own here. So yeah, I would put him up there as more of a Mr. Philly, but he still needs that one signature game to completely overtake Doc.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. I like it. All right. Bot, great job, dude.
Good stuff. This was fun.
Excellent, man. Excellent work by you. Everybody, have a great day. We love you. All right. Be careful. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.